All right, we're live. This is session 23, 4, I don't know, of the Crossmeet campaign. We're back after a couple weeks. Stephen out had a lovely time in the Bahamas and Florida, and he's looking slightly tanned for it. I'm looking forward to seeing that reflected in that relaxation. And so, previously in Kulthania, the party had helped Talrun get disinfected, and in fact, seem to have cured all the remaining monks, if there are any out there that have been affected by this. Returned to Kurdi Gampa. He rested there for several days, and you've just gotten back to Crossmeet. I'm going to say it is the evening of the 11th of rotting. It wasn't snowing the previous day, but the day you traveled, the second day of travel back from Kurdi Gampi, it was snowing pretty heavily. But mind you, not terribly cold, just cold enough to snow great big flakes. You guys arrive at home about half an hour before sunset, and lots of snow on the ground and mud in the streets mixing with the snow. And you see the usual people passing by, and you get a lot of smiles and waves and stuff. You're definitely well recognized in Crossmeet now. So we're going to begin with you guys just dropping your animals off at your pen, and I'm going to let Steve Jaudet go first.
Yeah, regarding our animals, do we still have the zombie walk with us?
What?
The zombie warg.
Yeah,
there's likely no zombie warg anymore because of the time period we were gone. I wouldn't have been there to raise it to reanimate it the next day.
Okay.
I had to remember that one.
So unless I just decided, like, hey, I like this big pile of shaggy bones, I'll take it with me.
So, Jaudet, you're at the pen. It's about an hour before dark, and we'll start from there. Tell us what you're thinking, seeing, feeling.
Well, I mean, at this point, I imagine I'm taking care of the animals. Making sure Scoot didn't run away, or let himself out of the pen, or I don't know, inside and make his own bed or something. Like go inside and Scoot's moved in. But right, as far as he's got a giant spider in his mouth. What? Belmir's like, has anyone seen my familiar? I mean, as far as thinking and feeling and such, I mean, I guess there's this sense of accomplishment for what we did, but somewhere in the back of Jodot's mind, it still gnaws at him a bit. Because the place was damp and kind of foreign to him, but also there's the idea that we went there to help people, and we still inadvertently had to kill. Well, I guess not inadvertently, but we still had to kill people who weren't exactly 100% responsible for what was going on. And that's a little bit similar to when he was younger and dropping off the water when they got attacked. Here are these people you're trying to save, and you have to kill them to try and straighten out the mess. And it's so he probably spends a little more time than normal outside with the animals, because that's a lot easier to understand, right? That's a lot easier just to sort of process and deal with. Even the frustration of the magical escaping mule is still easier to process than this sort of complex life of trying to be this hero. Because you keep being put in these situations where you have to make, at this point, life and death decisions that aren't even necessarily yours. Right, and it sort of harkens back to the very first time we all got together and trying to stop this kid from running off with a mermaid. It's
awesome.
A lot of decisions that shouldn't be ours that are ours now, or at least we view it that way. And so there's that tinge of yes, we're doing the right thing, but at what point did we become judge, jury, executioner? So yeah, he spends a little maybe I'm out there and starting to walk around and line out the fence and spending more time outside than is usual. So.
Cool. That was excellent. Okay, Tarun. So you probably maybe dismount, hand the reins to Jawdad, or so you
Yeah,
go from there.
Jordan's happy to hand the reins over to Jordan and to get back inside of his home. He's been mostly quiet on this trip, and he seems to have fallen into a bit of a depression after his master died.
Okay. Do you go in the house? What do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Belmera?
Belmar will check on her arrangement of animals, Basil, Sausage, and Spindle, to see if they're all alive and doing well.
Basil, Spindle's a spider.
Yes.
Who are the other two now?
Sausage is the boar, and Basil is the horse she bought from 10 gold pieces.
Okay. Okay. So you, your horse and boar are fine. Perhaps Jawdad is getting to them. Inside the house, when you go inside the house, you see that the front room, your guy's front room, it's got a massive spider web that spans the whole room, and it's like broken up into other like sections of spider web, and they're all kind of connected. It almost encompasses the entire ceiling, but it's not like giant spider webs. It's spider-sized spider webs.
Spider-sized spider. Okay, well, see.
Donkey-sized spider webs. What the?
With a half-eaten donkey.
I just saw Scoot outside.
We've turned our home into a dungeon.
Yeah.
There's an old woman up here.
Well, she'll go in and check out the web. And somewhere in the back of her mind, she's pretty sure she didn't ask her to do that. But never mind.
You didn't tell her not to, did you?
She'll go and kind of, what do you call it? Winkle? Like pull a string on one of the spider webs to get the attention of Spindle.
Okay, so Spindle comes right over to you, and crawls up your arm, and then kind of goes into your hair, and sort of rests in your hair, near your ear.
Okay.
Good.
So we'll spend kind of like 15 minutes on, who's been a good boy? Who's been a good boy? And kind of petting the spider.
Okay.
And try to get like the house looks as we left it, right?
Except for the spider webs.
Well, except for the spider web, yeah. So we'll put him down in his the little the lair she made for him, like the nest she had made. Put him down
Yes.
there. Now stay there.
Okay. So he immediately crawls up to his big web. He's just above you.
Only in this room, then. And she kind of
Sorry,
points
what?
her. Only in this
Okay.
room, then.
Okay.
And she goes out and go out to check on Suches, and she sees Jawdad. And she kind of hangs out there for a little while, waiting to get a moment with him.
Okay, so again, the sun is setting, the snow is falling lightly, big flakes. Grim.
All right. Yeah. First thing I do is, I'll once I see that Jawdad is taking care of the animals, I'll head inside, grabbing handfuls of stove wood from beside the door, tuck them under my arm, brush some of the snow off, and go in, and immediately begin setting up a fire in the fireplace, kind of eyeing the webs as I go through, with a quick kind of twirl of my hands, and then fire just seems to kind of swirl around the logs, and then finally they ignite, and there's immediately this like hard coals burning in the middle. I lay the other logs down next to it, and
I thought you were going to say web for a second there. I was like, uh-oh.
I begin warming my hands.
Okay.
When I as Balmira sort of comes in behind me to check on her familiar, I kind of glance over my shoulder and say, don't suppose you could have her weave me a nice hammock over in the corner, could you? That bench is fine and all, but it's a bit hard on the back.
I guess I can ask if you want it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so bad. Hey, I had this idea. Come here. And I kind of gesture for her to come over a little closer.
She kind of eyes you with a little suspicion. Moves closer.
Leans back.
You know that thing that Jordan did when he made that nasty undead wolf thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that could bring us in some serious gold, you know? I mean, no one wants dead animals, do they? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we could animate like all these kind of creatures to do work around town, charge them for a fee, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they die. Then they just stop working after a time. You see.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them, I don't know, 10 silver for a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they, you can use these horses. After a day, the horses die anyway, or re-die, or fall apart, or whatever it is they do when they're done, you know. And if they need more, they can come back to us.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea, she says, trying to hide.
Because look, we could get dead animals for just a few coppers.
I know, and we could like stuff them with some hay and dose them in some hide some herbs to mask the smell.
We could talk to some people about perfumes and such to take the stank off them, but there'd be no reason we couldn't just sell them around town for odd jobs and such.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a great idea. She says, nods, smiles.
Backing away more.
Yeah.
Something to think about. See, he goes back to putting a little bit of wood in the fire, trying to warm up the house because it's got to be same temperature as outside at this point. So she's trying to. Yeah. He's trying to bring up the temperature to.
Before she turns to go, she kind of checks. Torun, did he go into his own room, or is he still outside?
Yeah, he was still outside.
He's outside?
No, he's in his own room.
Okay. So, see. I'm sorry. You're chopping up.
If you come in line, round one, cone take two.
Okay. She goes close to Grim again, and she says in a whisper, "Did you notice? I mean, I think maybe Torun might be suicidal."
What? That's crazy. We just well, and by we I included him as well. We just went through a lot of work to save his life.
Yeah, but I mean
that doesn't sound suicidal to me.
Well, not. Yeah, I guess that too. But I mean, whenever we're in a fight, he seems to charge straight ahead in.
Well, keep in mind since we've known him, well, since I've known him, he's had that infection, isn't he? I mean, we have to be ready for the fact that we never really knew Telrune, at least not as he should have been.
Well, yeah,
You know,
I guess.
He's gonna change. There's no doubt.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, yeah. It must have been the infection.
Well, maybe. It was getting worse. I know that, and based on what what the other fellow said, it follows the pattern of madness. So, I mean, I suppose we'll have to see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just something to keep an eye on.
Hey,
So,
look, I'm a big proponent of personal freedom, and if that's the path he takes, I'll support him in it.
well, sure. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with taking your own life,
I guess. If that's the.
Well, it's yours, right?
No, it's a great sin for the dwarves.
What? I don't get that.
But I mean, if that's human, how you do it, I guess. I guess that's how you do it.
I don't know if it's human, but it's what my master told me.
But I mean, sure. If he wants to do it, I won't stop him. But I would prefer he did it when we weren't engaged in like heavy fighting, and we kind of need him. That's.
I suppose that's fair enough. That itself would be a fair question to ask, I suppose.
Yeah, just something to think about. And she doesn't know how to end this, so she just turns around and goes out to our little pen.
Okay. So you guys can whatever you want to accomplish this evening, feel free to do so.
She wants to. Yeah, she wants to talk to Jardat when he's alone, but that can wait if the others have something they want to do.
Well, I'm just going to pull up a string of sausage that are hanging down into our cold cellar from the door. So I can open the door and pull off the string of sausages that was been kind of dangling down into the cold storage, and some other foodstuffs that's been kind of dangling into there to stay fresh, and I break out some of the utensils from a little wooden crate at the side of the fireplace, and as the heat begins to sort of permeate the room, and you see some of the webs above begin to sort of ripple with the heat rising up, and they start moving of their own accord in this kind of cloudy wave kind of pattern moving across the ceiling. Yeah. I begin cooking up some food for myself and everyone else, as I'm sure they're going to be hungry since we just got home. We probably really didn't have any chance to eat warm food on the road.
Blood sausages?
Perhaps.
Yeah, whenever you want to speak to Telrune alone, or Valkyrie, go ahead.
Yeah, as she comes out in the pen, and she kind of goes over to Sausage, her boy, and she kind of pets him and feeds him, I don't know, half a cabbage or something, whatever we have out there.
Half a cabbage.
Yeah. So, that was some adventure, huh?
It was something. Yes. I mean, quite adventurous.
Yeah. So I noticed that you can do stuff now that you didn't do before.
Turn my head. Yes, all of this is growing. Is yourself included?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have your connection to the higher powers or anything like that. But
It's not hard. It's just a yes, a willingness, I suppose. Is all it takes.
Yeah, I guess. She kind of put her hand in her pocket and fiddles with the silver ring she took from Silas back then when he died. Um, so, no, this is, I don't know, this might be, uh,
Is something bothering you?
well, this, I mean, she kind of, this might be blasphemous or something, I don't know, so if it is, I apologize, but, do you think maybe we could, she kind of looks down on her feet and she says in a low whisper, almost mumbling, bring Silas back?
Oh, that is that is a very the honest answer is no. I can't. Neither can you, and not even someone like Eppin can do such a thing. I know I have heard in tales and in readings at the temples that it can happen, but it is difficult, and it is difficult not just for us, you, me, the person who is doing the magic. It's difficult for the world, for everything. Yeah, animals, and I kind of reach over and scratch the head of the pig. Animals, they are very different. They can be taught tricks. They can learn to love you. They can develop personalities and quirks and be difficult. And I kind of look over at Scoot, but they are built differently. They are built very different. An animal, has a soul, I believe, and so do you, despite what we might think on occasion, and so do I. But how do I put this? An animal's soul, its life, it's what allows it to be is like simple lock, cheap lock. Yeah, it does what it needs to, and you can depend on it, but it's not very complex, easily broken, easily repaired. And that is like the warg. It is a very simple lock. I pray it, I find the key, I unlock it, I bring it back, I can use it. But people, yeah, dwarves and elves, even orcs, their souls, they're a much more complex lock. And it's a lock that is like being trapped. If it's not opened the right way, it's very dangerous for everybody. And I do not have the skill to open the lock of a person's soul. And even if I did, such time has passed. I am not sure that what would be on the other side of lock would be same person. It is kind of you and said, for me, that you want him back. I understand this. Yeah. But if we tried, we must ask ourselves, if we were to break the lock, if we break it closed, he cannot come back. If we break it open, perhaps he can never again rest. And if we break lock altogether, then what comes back? The parts of him you want back, these are not parts I can bring back. I could bring back a body. I could have it follow you. Yeah, perhaps even sweep floor. Maybe it mumble a few words. But it would not be him.
No.
Silas would not be there. I hope you understand when I compare to Locke that is something in your skill set. It makes sense, yes?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I hoped that because he had magic in him, that would be some, I guess, in your terms, the key to unlocking the lock. I don't know. It's okay. Just something I've been thinking about. And she takes her hand up off her pocket and kind of folds it down. Yeah. Okay. Good talk. And she kind of
So
claps the pig.
right before you leave, Bellmetter is not something I can do, but I will make you this promise. If in our time together, from now until whenever it is over, if you think you find the key to that lock, no matter where it is, I will help you get it if it's what you want.
She stops and turns and smiles at you. Thank you. I would like that.
Of course.
She
Don't
goes
step in the... Never mind.
Okay, you guys go in, enjoy a nice feast of sausages. If there's anything else you want to accomplish tonight, just let me know.
No, I'm probably tired from traveling, so I just find the little corner that has some extra webs in it, and kind of just lay down on the webs and like pull some of the webs over me.
Keep in mind the webs are only by the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just like it just kind of covered the ceiling. It wasn't the whole room.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'll just curl up in my usual corner then on the fairly inadequate cushion, but I can make do.
Imagine how disturbing that would be. Grim casting spider climb and just going up in a corner, wrapping himself in the webs and just going to bed.
No, I'm trying to get you to
It could happen.
Okay.
It shouldn't. Tolroon has retired for the night. He even skipped dinner.
Right. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, right.
All right. So everybody crashes. 3 of you having feasted on sausages. At some point during the night, the snow stops. When you wake up, tell me what order you wake up in, and roughly the hour when you wake up. You guys can do this in any order you like.
Jada's going to be up really early, probably close to about 5 o'clock in the morning. And back outside with the animals and sort of pacing out the fence line and maybe sticking some sticks he collected from around and sort of lining out the area of where the fence is going to be.
Okay, cool. Cool. Who gets up next?
Well, pretty much as soon as people start like milling about, I
Been
probably wake
awake
up just because.
but
Oh, good. Sorry.
I was just saying Torrance probably been awake early morning since he went to bed earlier, but
Okay.
he hasn't really gotten out of bed. But at around 6 o'clock, he realizes that he's not getting back to sleep, so he begrudgingly gets out of bed and heads into the main room.
Okay. Another early riser. Good Bell, you guys. Just 2 hours when you get up.
Well, as I said, as soon as people start milling about, I probably begin to wake up and lay there for a little while. But feeling some responsibility for maintain the comfort in the household, I get up and kind of immediately restoke the fire if it needs doing, and get the hot water going over it, and pull out bits of smoked pork and begin sort of lining them up on a skewer over the fire, and there's another there's two armatures over the fire. One has the pot with water in it, for coffee and tea and whatnot. The other one has another little pot of water, and he has about 10 eggs kind of floating in there as that begins to bubble.
Cool. John, when you're outside, when you're outside, you would have noticed that it's quite cold, and any snow that was on the ground is now like hard and like a hard ice. You get you step on and kind of punch through right on top of. It's much colder than the previous day. Okay, Balmero, what time is it when you get up?
Let's see. Awoken. She will get up around 11.
Okay. At 8 o'clock, or thereabouts, when the town starts waking up, this is actually probably early for the town, Fazel comes by. Fazel from travel, and he sees you outside, Gaudet, and he smiles at you. Good morning. I have a package here for Talrun.
Yes, yeah, one moment, and I'll just open the door and poke my head in and see if I see Talrun.
Yeah, sitting on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, Talrun. Yeah, Faisal, he's out here. He has package for you.
Kind of groans and stands up and walks outside.
All right. So it's a package that's about yay big. It's wrapped in oilcloth. It's pretty heavy. It arrived for you just this morning.
Who's it from? I say, take as I take the package.
He doesn't know, but it was sent out of Bryce. He can tell you that, which is the city 2 days in the south.
Thanks. I'm out of my breath and turn back into the house.
Okay, so he smiles as he was walking up down the guards road.
We sit down at the table and stare at the package and begin to unopen it.
It weighs like about 10 pounds. It's pretty heavy. When you open it, it opens fairly easily, and inside you can see a book. The book half writing, half drawings, and the drawings are all of like fighting positions and stances and maneuvers, like showing sort of 3-panel action kind of thing of different kind of fighting maneuvers, defenses, things like that, along with a bunch of words accompanying it.
So you just got Kung Fu comic book issue 1?
Yeah. Teach yourself Kung Fu. Sense. Like, look at it, and after a while, right, fuck. Almost forgot. I just sit there with nothing better to do than to read through the book.
Okay, well, eventually the eggs are ready. The 3 that are awake can feast upon them. Bummer can wake up or not.
Well, I don't think any of us wake Belmira because it's kind of quiet now, and there's a sense of kind of serene sanity in the air, which doesn't always last once Belmira's awake. Yeah.
Is that hour before the kids wake up?
Exactly. Yeah. Should we wake the kids? No. Let them sleep. It's fine. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so 3 of you are enjoying eggs and this book.
I'm sure I kind of already know what Belmira is going to say, so I don't feel too bad like talking to Jodat and Talrun. I say I'm not sure when this came into my possession. I know it's kind of strange, but we've been in strange times lately. And he pulls out a sheaf of paper. He opens it up. Says, "Someone slipped this into my pocket." It says, "If you're looking for night work, come to Mahler's warehouse at midnight on the 12th of Rotting. Tell no one and come alone." That's today.
When did you get that?
Well, as I say, I don't know when it came into my possession. I found it in my pocket right before bed last night as I was getting ready. So it could have been any time. That's probably the least disturbing part of it. But it sounds like work, and quite frankly, we can use the money.
Fine. Go to your anonymous. We'll go to your anonymous warehouse meeting at midnight.
Well, no, it did. However, I mean, certainly I could have done that and told you all I was going to out for drinks or something, but I wanted to talk to you about it because it involves all of us. If you look, for whatever reason, fate has sort of pulled us together, and what affects one of us affects all of us. I don't pretend to know what force that is, but this even if I go alone, it's going to have repercussions to the rest of us. So I'm sharing it with you. I'm letting you know. I want to know your true feelings about it, not just I'll go ahead, it's your note, piss off.
Well, it is strange that everyone in this town is so secretive. Everybody. The other day, before we left, I went by Murgy's. Sign in the window. Secret sale on leather. How do you have secret sale? I don't understand this. Everybody and their secrets.
I'd say you obviously didn't grow up in a big city like I did.
Well, yes, no, a big city. There is outside of the walls of my father's castle. It was a big city there.
If you're living in a city with sapient beings, there are secrets. always.
Well, yes.
And from what I'm seeing, I suspect there's even more in small towns. But if you fellas decide that this is a bad idea, it's kind of the reason I wanted to talk to you before Belmira gets up. She'll be gung ho for this, if nothing else, because it's secret.
Okay. When did you get that?
Well, as I say, I'm not entirely
These
sure.
pockets.
I might have checked. I might have checked my pockets sometime while we were away, but it's one of those things where I didn't really notice it until now. Whoever
So
put
to
it there was.
Just to clarify, this would have been in a garment that you left behind.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. My
No, I thought it was like in his pot. The
Should have made that clear.
pocket
No.
that.
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of what I thought too. My apologies. Okay, so I say for viewers, slight retcon here. Well, I mean, I found it in the code I left behind. So, I mean, if someone's clever enough to, come into our house without leaving a mark and leave it there, I can't believe it was the lad who we left to just kind of keep an eye on the place. So it had to have been someone else.
Don't we have Gwen cleaning this place?
What's that?
Gwen, doesn't she help clean this place?
Sure, but I can't imagine her leaving a note like that. Maybe when Belmira gets up, we can find a way to ask her about her spider if it saw anything at any time. But point is that someone figured out a way to leave this here surreptitiously, and clearly they're interested in me, but it's he kind of looks up around at everyone. It's not just me anymore, is it? I've for a long time it has been. For a long time it's just been me, and for better or worse, I have to say I do like the feeling of having people around me who have my back, and I'm not gonna go off and do this if you you agree that it's a bad idea. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's more than a little dodgy to go off and find out what this is about, but.
Belmira will come out into the kitchen, looking kind of groggy, kind of wrapped in her blanket. You guys are so loud in the morning.
Speaking of dodgy, morning.
She sits down. Well, she looks and there's no more chairs, so she'll take a barrel and sit on it.
I'll stick a little two-pronged iron fork into one of the sausage, and I'll just kind of flip it casually towards her, like.
Okay. Make a deck save. Belmira, just for that.
I think that's 10.
So.
All right. You catch it. It splatters you a little bit.
Head it right for your forehead.
Yeah, she puts it down on her plate and kind of. I'm not that into sausages anymore.
for a long moment, for a long moment, Grip sort of contemplates the many layered meanings of that statement, and decides not to pursue it any further, and he just kind of continues to turn some of the sausage on the spits.
So could we kind of like make a house rule that there will be no chatting around the table at least noon?
Look, until we can get a bigger place. I mean, maybe we can pick up some wax and you can stuff in your ears while you're sleeping or something.
Yeah. Oh, I could learn a spell that does it.
Oh, maybe. I mean, either way, if your pet is floating around, is it a he or a she?
It's a she.
Ah. Well, if anything exciting is happening, I'm sure she can let you know, even if you've got earplugs in.
Yeah.
I kind of look significantly at the other two as if to
I'm
ask
not really
them
sure what's
if I should share anything.
I'm not sure what's with all the whipping, but
So, what is plan then?
Well, and again, I kind of look at Jodat and Talrun as if to see if they want me to say anything to Belmira or not.
I give no indication either way as I unhelpfully just look at my book.
I look pleadingly at Jodat.
I want to sell this jewelry we found at the orc raiding party.
Oh yes, and axes. We have lots of axes that must be sold.
That too.
I sigh with resignation. Well, and as a matter of fact, Belmira, I was just talking to the lads here about a strange note I found in one of my coats I didn't bring with me. It says if you're looking for night work, come to Mahler's warehouse at midnight on the 12th of Rotting. Tell no one and come alone. And that was by my estimation, that's tonight.
Just out of curiosity, if he says tell no one, and you tell us, is that not doing exactly what it says not to do?
Well, I'm interpreting it as written as my master would have, and I'm telling someone, not no one.
Did you piss someone off in the town?
Well,
I kind of roll my eyes and like put up my hands like.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to.
Let's say I wanted to slit someone's throat, right? I didn't want him or her to bring along friends, right? So I'll ask, come alone at midnight at this suspicious location.
Well, then I imagine it's a good thing I'm telling you about it.
So, if you interpret letter that says tell no one, but you are only telling someone, not no one, then if you come alone, but we follow you, by same logic, you have not.
It says tell no one, which I have done. By telling you, I have told no one. And but I could still go alone.
Well, I mean,
well, have fun, I guess. Good luck.
Well, as I say, I don't consider myself alone anymore. Yeah. And better or worse, I consider you all something more than just acquaintances. And if you think I shouldn't go, then
I see the note.
Yeah, I handed it over to her. I handed it over to her.
Okay. Rob, I will check it for any signs of chief chant on it. Thieves chant.
Yeah, thieves can't. Yeah.
Okay. You don't see any. It is addressed to Grim specifically. And just as a curiosity, I thought thieves was more like a sign language kind of thing.
No, you can make signs.
It's kind of like they
Cool.
use codes
Right.
and secret words.
Some
double
letters
meaning
are
words.
slanted, a little bit more. They're
Yeah.
larger, or whatever the case is.
Okay, cool. No, you see no signs of that.
Okay. So if you all think it's either too dangerous or
Well, I think it's a
about
trap.
things- Well, if I can play Belial's advocate here, wouldn't it be prudent then to walk into the trap with eyes open and see who's after me? I mean, with backup, of course, with people secretly behind me, looking out for me.
Well, I mean, it's some warehouse, right? So we will assume it's in
Yes.
Crossmeet.
Are we familiar at all with Muller's warehouse? I mean, we've been
Yes.
around town, walking around and so forth.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
okay. What
Absolutely.
kind of warehouse is it? What do they store there? You know, who owns it? That sort of thing.
Well, presumably it's owned by someone named Mahler. You don't know what's inside.
Okay.
But
All right.
it's down in the corner.
Well, we have some time, so maybe we could go ask around about this Muller and see what
I mean,
what
if
he's
you
like.
go, if you go and ask around, and that comes back to whoever wrote the note for you, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe one of you could do it. Just go.
Yeah, but
just
I think people in town knows that we are kind of associated with each other.
well, they do, but it's if you go near Muller's warehouse and simply sort of innocently ask someone passing by Muller's warehouse.
Hang on. I'll ask.
Who's Muller?
I'll ask Spindle if he saw who put the note in your.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up. I got distracted, but
Hang on. See, goes around to every corner with some weapon, checking if she's in there. Kind of.
You can get a sense. You don't need to do that. You can just get a sense she's over there.
Okay. Okay. She'll go over to the corner where she is and kind of get
Okay.
her out to climb
Okay.
up on.
Okay, so she slides down like a few inches on her web, like hanging upside down, Spider-Man style, looking at you with her gigantic black eyes.
She wants a kiss.
So, I can I have the note, please?
I don't think I took it back, so I think you still have it.
Okay. So she'll take the note up. And okay, can you see this? Did you see who put this? It wasn't one of us. Someone came here and put this. Was there someone else than us in the house while we were gone?
Keep in mind, you're communicating to something that's not as smart as a dog, so just keep your concepts simple.
Yeah, but Spindle has a 19 in intelligence.
Okay.
She's a former avatar.
Forest fighter. So what do you ask? What do you say now?
Well, I don't even know, but I assume that spiders have smells, right? They have the sense of smell.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it has 8 eyes, right? So it must have some sort of vision.
It has senses, yeah, certainly. I
Yeah.
mean, it can.
The tremor sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, was there anyone beside us in the house while we were gone. Remember when I put you down in the little
Yes.
nest? Can you tell me who that was? In your own.
No.
What did it smell like? Did it smell like weapon oil? Did it smell like leather? A man. Tall man?
All men are big.
That's true. Well, at least that's what we tell them. So she takes a note and hands it to Brim, and she kind of, well, okay, good girl, and wiggles up again. Someone was here, a man.
I kind of sigh. So, well, we know someone was here, and I kind of waved the note around, and the rest was sort of a 50-50 chance, as far as I know. So, not much information there.
No.
I'll add that you learned it was 2 days before you get back. That helps you.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose that'll help. Because then we can always ask someone else if they saw anyone, loitering around 2 days ago.
Well, hang on.
I say, was it day or night?
It was night.
Okay. Well, since she knew it was a man, could she tell it was a dwarf, human, halfling, specific race? I mean, I'm assuming we all stick to man.
Well, a big man,
human.
so I guess it wasn't a freaking gnome or something like that, and she's kind of
human. A human. Okay, well, yeah, that narrows it down a bit.
But
well, bring her along with you when we go out. Maybe.
No, it's too cold for her.
She'll be fine. Just tuck her on your hood. We'll. What?
It's too cold.
Oh, will you next time summon a mammal? Something endothermic, at least. All right.
I'm picturing a spider with like one of those little pet jackets on it. One small dog.
A little cap.
Next time, something endothermic would be nice.
Okay, so let's assume it's actual night work, right?
Right.
Have you connections to anyone that might offer night work?
Not particularly. I mean, I had some connections through my former master with crap, I forget his name. The one who runs the pit, Slag.
Slag, yeah.
Yeah, I have. Well, I was told I had connections to Slag, although he hasn't really been an actual connection as of such.
Okay, well, let's assume if it's Slag, it's probably Swen because she works for Swen, so it probably goes back.
Well, keep in mind
just for information, both you two know, Grim and Belmare would know this. Night work is a thief term for thieving night work.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're going to be working the docks. Doesn't mean that.
Or prostitution.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, never assume.
That's what I was thinking this whole time.
Hey, money's money.
There's no ambiguity as far as that goes.
Okay.
But let's assume it's Swen offering you a job.
Yeah, that's likely, considering his establishment is sort of the hub of the less.
Right. So, a sane person would ask you to come down to where he resides in his little court, right? But given that Swen, he is a gnome, right, Rob?
No, he's a half-orc.
Oh, not Sven.
Oh, so
No,
No,
Sven,
Sven's a no.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking Slag. Sorry.
Yeah. So given that he's a gnome, and gnomes are notorious for being criminally insane, this could make sense in his twisted, dark mind, I guess.
Well, the only way to know for sure is to go and find out.
But I mean, if it is a genuine offer and they spot one of us, they're probably gonna be pissed that you did bring others.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a gamble. Which side do you want to bet on? Do you want to bet on it's an ambush and then it's best that we are there, or it's a job and then it's best that we are not there?
I kind of as I'm sitting there, drinking my coffee, I kind of rub against this slight scarring from a recent injury. I say, well, quite frankly, I'd rather err on the side of caution.
Then don't go into the supposed trap then.
Well, as I say, I think it's important either way. If I can probably convince them that I need the three of you to back me up on whatever they want me to do. And if it's a trap, then it's better that we expose whoever's setting it up, because let's face it, if I don't think I've made any lone enemies in town. If there's an enemy, they're an enemy of us all.
Right. So let's say it's a trap. Then we need someone who can get there quick. You can kind of move quick, right?
As a matter of fact, I can.
So how about I disguise myself as you, and I go in, and you will be waiting on the other side, hidden. So if it turns bad, you can quickly come to assistance. I know all. I mean, let's assume it's a job. I know all the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, that's true.
If it was someone that was wishing to do harm to Grim, wouldn't they simply have put a poisonous spider or a snake or something else? I mean, they had access to his clothing, to the house. They could have easily left something to hurt him.
But not everyone has access to poisonous spiders and snakes.
They could have hidden inside house till he came back.
Well, sure, but then they have to deal with us.
I'm just saying, is a long way to go if they are in house.
That's true. It is a big unknown. I think either way. But I think Belmira's plan is a fair one.
Yes.
Belmira will write that down in her journey on the 12th of Reading. Grim said that.
Okay. So I say, well, I'm gonna head out this morning then and see if I can find any information about this warehouse and who owns it. Just to.
Please don't.
Don't.
If it is who we suspect it is, and it comes back to him, that could be bad.
Well, come on, we need to find out. I mean, we can ask someone who
Yes, but
is trusted.
I don't know who taught you the tricks, but we're dealing with a gnome here, and gnomes are not to be trusted. All they're waiting for is stick you in the back with a dagger, preferably a poisonous dagger. That's all they ever think about.
Fine. I'll just I still have to go out, but I'll I'll avoid mentioning.
I know who you can
Yes.
ask. You can ask
Who?
Frey. Freya? Faye? Yeah, Faye. At the tree.
You trust her enough?
No, I don't think she's connected. And I don't think she will tell.
All
And
right.
at least it can give you like, oh, it's owned by so and so and so, and he's a honest / dishonest merchant who deals in winter shoes for Bryce or something like that.
Well, sure. That's what I'm looking for.
So if I wanted to ask someone, I will ask her.
All right. Fair enough. I'll go do that then this morning. So, as soon as I finish passing out coffee and making sure the house is warmed up, I'll get my things together. Say, anyone else coming to the free?
I need to go to Everlove and pick up my Midnight Oil.
I kind of wrinkle my nose at Eveloff, but fair enough. All right, so
Okay. What have you decided upon?
I'm gonna head over to the 3 as soon as we're done. Eating breakfast and drinking coffee.
All right. Well, it's noon now. Thanks for
Oh, okay.
getting up.
All right. Yeah, so I'll head over there.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
no,
I just want to know if anyone wants to do anything.
okay, yeah, we'll do that first.
I have no direct plans.
Yeah, I'll just go and pick up the Midnight Oil she ordered before they went on the monk trip.
Okay. What was that oil again? That was some poison, right?
Yeah, sleeping potion, nerve tonic.
Right. Okay. Toru, you're going to read the book?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try read the book, and eventually, after a few hours, I'm gonna into my room and start acting out some of the techniques in the book.
Okay. Your room is pretty small for it. Maybe the backyard might be more suitable. But you can do it in your room. So John's here. Toru in his room with the door closed. There's a lot of grunting sounds and stuff. Grim, we'll get to the 3. You can sit. It's lightly busy for lunchtime at the 3, but it's very, very cold out, and that maybe has a factor.
Yeah. So I'll go in and I'll get order a bracing drink of some liquor that will warm my core. But I'll seek out Faye and see if I can get her attention.
Okay, so Faye back will serve you some mulled wine.
I thank her. Say, Faye, if you have just a tick.
Yes, dear. How can I help you today?
And I kind of lower my voice. Say, what do you know of?
Not seen you in days. People were asking about you.
Well, we've been out of town, business. We're all okay though. You know us.
Good.
Just out of curiosity, I received a message recently. Have you heard of someone named Muller?
Mahler's Exports?
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Yeah, they have a warehouse near Brogans.
And what kind of things do they export?
Well, I'm not sure, dear. I think it's rare woods.
Any word on his reputation in town?
Well, he's only been here a few times. He spends most of his time in Bryce. He has another warehouse here. He's always been polite, well dressed.
And his business is well respected then?
I honestly, I don't know anyone who does business, who's in that business, but it seems maybe something for the wealthy. Rare woods. I mean, who has a need for rare woods?
True enough. True enough. Well, I appreciate it. We're thinking about talking to him about some additions to the house, and we're looking to perhaps upgrade a bit.
Well, good luck finding him. He's usually in Bryce.
That's good to know. I'm assuming he has some people working at his warehouse when he's not about.
I suppose.
Well, thank you for the wonderful cider. Well, it's bracing on a day like this, and I'll sit and sort of drink it and think about it.
Okay.
When I was gonna say just to finish my kind of arc, when I'm pretty much done with that, I'm gonna go just kind of for a walk through town, looking around, enjoying the day, and I'm gonna pass by Mola's warehouse, and without being really obvious about it, just kind of maybe where is it actually? Before I
Okay, so it's in the southwest corner here.
Hold on, I can't see where where's your pointer?
Well, you should be able to see it now. It's right there.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, yep.
So when you pass by Brogans, you see the
that's a huge building. What's across the street?
Warehouses are fairly big. So past Brogans, you see that despite the cold, Brogan has the door open and he's shirtless and hammering away at some piece of warm metal.
Okay.
When you pass Muller's, you see that all the doors are closed on it. You don't see any activity going in and out. There are still a fair number of ships in the harbor, despite the late year. This bay is famous for never freezing.
Okay.
Other than that, Port Street is fairly busy. There's just really nothing going on around Muller Exports.
What are the buildings?
There's lots of activity here. There's just more warehouses. Some might be for grains or animals or other things. Perhaps up here you see Reynard unloading animals off a ship. Like that. And that a lot of busy, a lot of people calling out, lots of cargo moving back and forth, wagons. Carts going bearing loads, ships being loaded or unloaded, that sort of thing.
Okay, I'll just kind of wander the streets a bit, just kind of looking as if I'm observing people, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on the Muller's warehouse, just to kind of get a feeling for. I want to know where all the exits are. See if I see any obvious movement near there.
There's a little door here. There's a large door here, and there's another main door there.
Okay.
The only thing that's odd about it is it's the only place that isn't busy, where there's nothing going on. Every other place it is busy.
Yeah, I mean that's slightly unusual, but of course, if as she said they have rare woods, then they would have a very much narrower. Sort of window of business, but I make note of that. But the important thing is to know where all the doors are.
Right. As I said, a big warehouse door, a smaller man door, and then a man door on the supporting building.
Now, is that sort of like a small grove of trees to the sort of the south?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so. I make note of that as a potentially good, observation location. And
there's also no buildings to the south of it at all.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that. All right. So, I mean, again, trying to look as just blending with the crowd as possible, and after about half an hour of observing the building, I'll head back up and. Kind of to continue walking through town, and make my way back to our place. So it'll probably take a
Okay.
few hours anyway.
So by the time you get back, you're kind of red cheeked from the cold.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there's a good fire going at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Talrun is perhaps grunting. I'm not sure. Anybody else want to do something to speak up?
Nope.
Yeah, not really. Like, I might be out in the back with some of those L frames that we got from the foundry so long ago,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out how they're supposed to be part of a fence. I'm not 100% sure. John doesn't really have any background in construction, but
Okay. So there are a couple of teenage locals, boys, that are hanging around with you, and they're kind of watching you and offering to help.
For a price.
That's fine. Yes, come on over. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, but we can figure it out together.
Okay.
So, maybe I'll set one of them to collecting larger limbs that we can use in a little fireplace inside, and the others to help me sort of lay this out, and I'll have one of them writing down these sort of paced out measurements. So trying to figure this out. And,
Okay. So the whole time they're hitting you with questions, but they're talking about life like in the desert. What's it like being a half-orc? And not really like what you're up to, like what your business is or things like that.
right.
What's it like being half-orc?
So I'll answer most of their questions. But I'll keep steering it back in the in the direction of education and the temple. So life in South is
Okay.
it's much like here, but less snow, much less snow. There's a lot of sand. The water is a commodity. Yeah, my father, he is a water merchant. My mother, she works in temple. A temple like the one up here, that Eppin. Have you been there often, or do you go? They can teach you many things about the South, about the rest of the world.
My mom goes. The other one looks at the ocean and says, "You sell water?"
Well, yes, fresh water. You cannot drink salt water. You will get sick.
There's rivers.
Yes, there are rivers here. There are not so many rivers in South. There are a few.
Sell water. Scratches his head at that one.
Yes. Yeah.
The other one touches your arm and goes, "Can you get sunburn?"
Oh, yes, I have done this. It is not pleasant. It is painful in the skin. It comes off.
Oh, I think I bent this. Sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, I'll just be out there with them doing that stuff.
Okay. So, Grim returns home.
Yeah.
Red
So-
face stuff.
While I'm sort of inside, I assume Bill Murray is just kind of hanging around here because she's a loaf about. And I was kind of, say to her,
She's not hanging about. She's fixing a book.
yeah, whatever. Whatever you want to call it. So I'll say to her, I say, well, the warehouse is fairly quiet. There's nothing going on there. By common accounts, the Muller is an exporter of exotic woods. Who knows how much truth is in that?
Exotic wood. Sounds like a cover.
It does. It does. But as much as this feels like something dangerous, I can't ignore it. I mean, someone came into our place and left me a note. That's unsettling.
We could go take a look at it.
I look at what?
The warehouse.
Well, I just took a look around. I didn't go inside, but
Did it seem occupied? Was there any workers milling about?
not really. No, it was fairly dry. There was compared to the other places around, there was nothing going on. Doors, windows closed.
Well, that seems odd, right? Doing business hours.
Yeah, it does. But it is a fairly focused business, and so it's quite possible they have clientele who are by appointment only.
I guess. Well, we could go take a look.
We'll go take a look tonight. I don't want to tip them off anymore. I already took a risk just walking by there and eyeing the place. If we go there and do more,
Did you notice any spotters around?
I didn't see anyone. But let's face it, at dark this time of day, it's pretty busy.
It might be where they store all the ill-gotten goods.
Yeah. Again, it might be something as benign as spying on a competitive business, or they might want to steal something. I'm assuming that at any point we'll be able to refuse, or I'll be able to refuse.
Yeah, but I mean, the note that say night work.
I know what it means. I did my share. Although my master called it wet work.
Uh-huh. Well, why would he call? No, never mind.
I give him a grim look.
From personal experience, I wouldn't recommend shacking up with a gnome.
I kind of shake my head and say, why are you insisting it's a gnome?
I think it's Swen. Well, his gang.
Well, how do you know that?
I don't. That's why
Well, then you don't think it.
Well, okay, it's my, I don't know, gut feeling, intuition. Yeah, intuition.
Well, although I trust you in many ways, well, a couple ways. All right, a few ways, Belmera. I'm not sure I trust your gut feelings. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure I trust my own.
Okay, so if you want to go with the disguise plan, which is fine by me, I will just play nice and accept whatever offer they are making. Is that okay? If they are making an offer.
I think I can go in. I can probably get out if it's a trap of some sort.
Okay. Yeah. Of course. If you can
There's
get
a to the south of the warehouse. There's a grove of trees that you Telrune and Jordan may be able to hide out in without being noticed.
Okay, makes sense.
So I just kind of stare off into a corner for a while and say, I think it's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And I go over to the bench and sort of flop down on it and kind of lay down with my eyes open.
Yeah, she follows him and sits down on the edge of the bench. But I mean, you're not really considering it, right? I mean, if it is Swin working for him, right?
I want to hear what whoever it is has to say, and then I'll decide. I quiet for a second, and then I kind of look up. I say, "But I promise that I'll if the rest of you are against it, I'll abide by that."
But I'm not against that sort of work. But I mean, we're talking about a gnome here. I mean, if you hook up with a gnome, you might as well stab yourself in the stomach now and get it over with.
I sit up. I say, "What is it with you and gnomes?"
Well, they're evil and wicked, and of malicious spirit.
Well, that's racist. I mean, that's like saying that all dwarves are greedy and stick dirt in their butts or something.
No, apart from the dirt in the butt, I don't know where I heard that from, but.
Well, you hear a lot of things on the streets in the big city. The point is that, there are things said about all kinds of people by the small-minded. I'm just saying that,
Yes, but I'm sure you have experienced how wicked something can be if they want to make an example out of someone.
Well, look, there's a lot of wicked people here. We've seen that ourselves. There's wicked humans, there's wicked wolves, and no doubt there's wicked gnomes and halflings and orcs and half-orcs. I kind of pause there. Say, look, there's all sorts of wicked people.
Yes.
I mean, but
my point is that I mean, you experienced it before, so I'm sure you know what you're doing, but it'll just be, I mean, sad if something happened to you. So I guess.
Well, I kind of laugh and say, "Well, no, I agree. I prefer something bad not happen to me, but
I mean,
honestly, if there's someone out to get me specifically, I'll need to know who it is, and ignoring is not going to make that go away.
Yes, that's a good point. Okay.
There is something to be said to walking into a trap with your eyes open. If you're aware of the trap, you can most times avoid it. So
yeah, I think that's kind of like a human thing too.
Maybe, but that's why I'm counting on my friends.
Okay, get some sleep. To kind of takes his coat and tucks him in. I'll go back to my book.
All right.
As he goes back.
I curl up.
Still early afternoon, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, again, I'm expecting to be up late. I'm just taking a nap. I'm expecting to be up late tonight, so I want to be alert.
No problem. Do you guys want to get anything done between now and then?
Other than napping, no.
No,
Okay.
Maros will take a nap too at some point, but other than that, no.
Okay. So we'll jump ahead to 11 p.m., 10 p.m. Tell me.
Yeah. I have set the alarm at 1:30 ambush time.
Well, I'm giving you guys the
1:30 ambush. Well, I'm assuming I'll be awake way before 11. So.
Yeah.
Well, I just want. Can I run by Murray's and check to see if the saddle for Valmera's pig is ready yet?
It is.
Awesome. So I'm gonna pick that up, and the leather parts for the Belmera reknitted my chain shirt, but I needed the sort of the leather parts that went with it. Is that ready also?
Yes.
Perfect. So I will grab all of that from him. And thank you very much. And there is pieces of armor that we have from the other people that we'll be bringing by next couple of days. Have you take a look at, see if it's something you can use. Yes.
Sure. Okay. And he also throws in free games on for your chainmail.
Throws in what?
A free Gambeson, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Well,
Okay.
it's like the padding that goes underneath the chainmail.
Right,
to keep
right.
From pinching. He throws that in for free. The
So-
chainmail is a perfect fit.
Bonus.
Alright, so between he and Belmera, they did some good work. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go take the pig saddle back home and kind of whistling. I'm just gonna more or less boot open the door and just like whop onto the table with it.
Only in a role-playing game could you utter the phrase, I bring home the pig saddle.
I need to find that picture Alex had posted with Belmera as a child.
That was awesome. what made it was the look on the little kid's face. That was just like, just so Belmera.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the time you spent with the animals, Jawdad, you get the sense that Scoot has gone from being maybe an escape artist to now he's self-appointed in charge of the animals, at least when you're not around.
Right.
Kind of like keeps them in mind.
Doing like a little military walk behind them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's written a sonnet, which he's interested in publishing. If you're interested, you know.
Yeah. So I plop it on the table, and I just sort of put my arm on it, and I smile like really broadly at Belmera, almost in that sort of uncomfortable smile. You know, like where you're like you just want someone to ask you about it.
Right. Yeah.
She looks at it.
It's got some like basic dwarven like the handwriting is really well done, but the dwarven runes that go across it, you know, instead of saying, you know, something really poetic, it's kind of like the broken English you get on a fortune cookie. Because neither myself or Murgy know Dwarvish, so we were like cobbling it together. And it says something for like, is for pig to ride on better. It's really pretty.
Whoa! She kind of runs a hand across the table. This is really great.
It's sample for sausage or bacon or the pig.
Well, sausage. But yeah. Oh. Whoa! Thanks. She gets up and kind of in a somewhat awkward move gives him a hug, and then she kind of like freezes a little bit and she lets go and pats his shoulder. Thanks.
Yes, I'm sorry it was not done in time for the ride to the monastery.
No, this is great. This is great. Oh, I can't wait for our next adventure out of town.
This will be better than the saddle for horse, because this has never been peed on.
Was the saddle for the horse peed on?
Is Tolrune in the room right now?
I think he's still alone in his room.
Are you going to reveal that you pissed on everyone's saddles? Yeah, I pissed on all their saddles. For good luck.
I just look back at his door and remember the night that we found the drunk guy peeing on the saddles. Yes, is small chance that the saddle was peed on by a drunk man,
Okay.
but not this one. This one is brand new.
This is okay. This is not peed on. Oh, this is great.
It's like a little check mark. Not
Basically,
peed on.
what?
Check. Right.
Pee-free saddle. Made without pee. It has a little sticker.
So, what is plan? Are we still not going? He does have air quotes. Are we still not going to a warehouse tonight?
Yeah, we are not going, and Grim is going, and he something about if you know it's a trap and you walk into it, it won't hurt your feet or something like that. It must be.
It's better to know when walking into a trap and to spring it than to not know it's trap and be afraid to ever try.
Uh-huh. So I think the plan is that he goes in and he's not surprised that it's a trap, and then he does that whole, where he disappears from one place and appears in another place. And he comes running out to us, and we'll hide at the small grove with the trees, and we'll beat up anyone following him.
That's nothing like what I said.
Yeah, very well then. Yeah, what time are we not leaving?
We're not leaving at 11.
Well, in the meantime, what is plan?
Well, I just told you plan.
No, yes. Very good. Yeah.
I mean, Grim he mentioned something. I don't know. It seems all weird and human-y. So.
Human?
It's a word. But I guess he can tell you. I mean, he should be getting up now anyway. Hey, Grim?
Not unless you wake me.
You know, when he sleeps this much, it's really easy to pick his pockets.
Just wait a minute.
But, I mean, I think it might be a trap.
I'm awake. What Belmir is desperately trying to explain is that I need to know if this is a real job or a trap, one way or another.
Yeah, that's
So
what I said.
I can't ignore it. So I'm going to go in. There's a small grove of trees to the south of the warehouse that you could sort of hide in and wait. And if it turns out to be risky, I can probably get out of the warehouse without too much trouble. But there may be some people after me. That's the basics.
Yes, and I was trying to explain to Graham that since our daytime job is so dangerous, it's a bad idea to take up a nighttime job that is also dangerous.
Well, you're the one who's saying this might be a trap.
I'm
So
saying
why
he's,
would?
I'm saying he's suspicious.
Well, sure. Look, someone broke into our house, left a note.
Uh-huh.
That's suspicious enough.
Mhm.
We need to find out who's doing it.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So either way, it's a good idea for me to go and find out who we're dealing with.
I agree.
So we go and find out. I mean, it's bad either way. If we ignore it, then if someone is trying to get me, they'll figure out another way to do it, and maybe it won't be so subtle or so obvious, depending on how you want to look at the paranoia.
Yep. Then they'll bring out all the snake and poisonous snakes and whatnot.
Well, at that point, we may just have a fireball go off in the middle of our living room and roast us all. So, if they're just trying to get me, then this would be the best opportunity to find out who's doing it. If it's a real job, then that's good to know as well. Because clearly, this isn't the same organization that's operating that we've worked with in the past. This is something different. Otherwise, they would have approached us through normal channels. So either way, we need to do this to get information. That's my thinking. If any of you disagree, I'm open to the to other possibilities, and I'm willing to hear alternatives.
Nope, I'm good with your plan.
Jordan?
Yes, I think if this is something that needs to be done, we will do it. If they wanted you dead, it was probably something they could have done. Left something in bed or dart while on back of horse. So perhaps this is just another secret society. Because we need more of those.
I kind of smile and nod. Well, no matter, whichever case it is, we need to know. If we're going to be spending any time in this town, then we need to know what's going on. So, I have nothing that I'm planning on doing until 11 o'clock. So, I spend the rest of my time sort of just kind of perusing my book, and at one point, I'm sitting there looking at my book, and they might notice me like on one side of the room, and then they feel this kind of like burst of air, and I'm on the other side of the room reading the book, like right with the with the other set emphasis on the and I usually they see me with my little iron wand, sort of like yes. Right, with the swish, right. Okay. And kind of mumbling to myself.
Okay. Yeah, so 11 o'clock comes and nothing of note happens. When you leave, it's not snowing. It's very, very cold. It's about a quarter moon in the sky. It's enough that you can just barely see your breath.
All right. So I pull my jacket around me, pull my hat down, and after I walk maybe 50 yards, I kind of glance behind me, and I hopefully see my companions like shadowing me from afar as they begin following me.
Okay. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, but I mean, shadowing him, not like I mean, John is not like skulking down a building because that would just look really odd. So, I guess maybe I'll have Scoot with me, and I'll just be walking Scoot down the road and more or less carrying on a mumbled conversation with the donkey.
Okay. The odd passerby might tip a hat to you or something, but there's not many on the streets right now.
I'm gonna try and train Scoot to like bow when people tip their hat. We're gonna work on that when we're walking.
Okay, excellent.
And just because I was gonna just one thing, and just to be clear, my plan, which I imparted to each of them in turn, was for them to, if possible, wait in the sort of grove of trees to the south of the warehouse. Now, should they choose not to do that, that's up to them. I'm just saying that's what I imparted to them. That if that might be the best option. If they do anything different, well, that's up to them.
This is good. I want to make it clear that everyone has inspiration just for the fact that you clearly conveyed the whole plan to everyone else. A novelty.
As you walk down, Bernal will keep her distance. She'll be trying to keep eye on anyone.
Are you walking with Jodat? Are you guys like single file, like 100 yards apart, or just? I'm trying to picture this.
Unless anyone objects, I'll just be walking with Jordan.
Yeah, I'll keep maybe 100, 200 yards behind them.
Okay.
But I'll try to keep an eye on any potential spotters along the way.
Potential
Someone
spiders?
Actually,
Spider.
I have a thought. Sorry to do a little bit of retcon, but before because we've had a kind of a day to think about it. How big is Belmira's spider?
About a child's fist.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so not huge. All right, I say, Belmira, what would your spider? What's his name again, or her name?
Spindle.
Spindle. Would she be willing to like ride under my hat?
I guess. But you're not putting her in the snow.
No. She'd be warm under my hat. But my point is that at least you will be able to hear what's going on inside the warehouse.
Ah. Okay.
So before we leave the house, I let Spindle sort of like, this could be a flashback scene like on the way there. You know how they do in movies where, as they flash back to our preparation as we're walking. So you see the spider kind of crawl into the hat and kind of nestle itself in, and I flip the hat onto my head and kind of tighten it enough.
That is
Okay, so I'm gonna say all that works.
Yeah.
However, you have to give specific orders. Like you realize you have to give specific orders to Lyric not to eat them. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You get the feeling that he really wants to.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I'm gonna actually leave Lyric at the house simply because I kind of want to keep an eye on her house as well, because there's a little fraction of my my thought patterns that say this could also be a plan to lure us out of the house, but so I'll leave Lyric back there and kind of keep an eye on things.
I wonder if he gets jealous.
And maybe occasionally, like I leave a log like out in front of the fireplace that maybe Lyric can kind of roll into the fireplace later on when things getting cool up. But yeah, so I'll leave Lyric back at the house.
Okay.
And I'll just keep Spindle, in my hat.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, we continue on, and when we get to the warehouse, I'll kind of look for any obvious, like, see if there's any open doors. If not, then I'll just walk up to one of the not any door. What?
Slow down. Okay, so on your way there.
Oh, okay.
You guys mentioned you were being alert and looking out. There are definitely a few people hanging out the slag pit. Again, the streets aren't empty, but they're fairly empty. There's just a few people hanging out the slag pit. It's always the loudest place. Even at 11 o'clock at night, there's a light on in Brogan's place, but the door is closed.
Okay.
You do see someone sitting here smoking from a pipe.
Where is that?
Right here, across from Brogan's.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I kind of walk by and I kind of, I kind of touch the broom in my head without tipping it because there's a spider in there.
Uh-huh.
And I continue walking toward Mahler's place.
Okay, so outside between the two buildings, just on the road side of that alleyway, you see Mekla. Mekla is a tiefling, a male tiefling. You'd recognize him as being one of the people that works for Sven. Greasy black hair, very, 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 very red, kind of a dark red, a blood red type color skin.
Okay.
And, he's grinning at you.
I kind of nod and I walk up to him.
He's probably the guy you bought the dope from.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep, that's right. He's the guy who got you the mushrooms once or twice.
So, well, it's a fine evening, isn't it?
As you get right up to him, he turns and he walks into the alley, like towards the water, with the obvious assumption that you'll follow.
Yeah, I kind of sigh and I follow him. I say, I kind of just mutter to myself, through the alley to the water, then, as if just something someone might say to themselves. But part of that is for the benefit of Belmera.
I got it.
We're really
now the rest of you. You got Tauren and Jawdat. You're following at 100 yards or something like that.
Yeah, I guess about like that.
And Belmera, you're a couple hundred yards behind that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so this is for Alex's ears only. So Mekla, he leans up against the wall of the warehouse, and he takes out a very small stiletto and he starts picking his teeth with it. And he says,
Hi.
"Why didn't you come alone? You're by your friends." He's picking at his teeth.
I say, because I'm not a lone person.
The offer was only open to you.
Well, then you should have reconsidered before you made it. I say, I hold up my hand and say, look, I trust them. You can trust them.
It doesn't work that way. You were given an offer and a chance for a job. You could have made yourself a few coins. Suit yourself. He puts the stiletto away. He starts walking away from you.
I reach out and I grab him by the collar.
Okay. He turns around again. He's grinning.
I say, look, if you've got a job, make your point. Your reputation in this town is tenuous at best. If you want to, as a matter of fact, if you want people to work for you, then you need to work up for them. Then you need us to work for you on our terms.
He takes your hand off his shoulder. He says, "No, it doesn't work that way. You got to earn your trust with us if you want to work from us."
Really?
Sorry, friend. Maybe another time. He turns to walk away.
I say, well, then you don't work the same way as the Black Hand, do you?
He looks at you and says, "What do you know of the Black Hand?"
I give him the slow sort of smile as my grin widens. Say, I was raised in its a warm embrace.
He said, he says to you, even if that's true, we were offering night work and not wet work. Sorry, friend. Maybe another time.
You don't think that there's a there's a bit of a risk in crossing someone of the Black Hand?
We didn't cross you. We made you an offer. You want to play along.
Your terms were infantile.
He shrugs.
They're the terms of a schoolyard bully who decides they want to steal someone's candy. I don't work that way.
Not my rules.
Well, then maybe you should take me to the person who actually makes the rules instead of dealing with an underling who clearly is out of his depth.
Okay, so he walks away from you. He's just walking away slowly.
I'll follow him.
All right. Okay.
Rob,
So
can Bamera hear all this through a spindle?
I can't say why not.
Okay, she's gonna pick up the pace because in her mind, Grim is about a few rounds away from getting stabbed.
So he walks the length of the warehouse, turns right on the next alley, heading towards the road, and then turns right again on the road, like does kind of a U-turn.
All right.
Anyone else wants to do something? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just following along. I say, I could do this all night.
Okay. So you follow him for a ways. Do the rest of you want to join him or no?
Do we meet from where we are? Do we see him move?
Yeah. So he went this way, and then back this way.
Sorry, I didn't.
No problem. So you can clearly see Grim coming towards you, and you can join him if you want, or you can keep your distance if you want. Just let me know.
I try and make eye contact with him and sort of like give a little bit of a shrug, like, this wasn't part of the plan.
I'm just waiting for him to give us the signal that he promised.
So Mekla continues to walk here. When he gets to across from Brogan's, the person sitting here smoking gets up and joins him.
All right.
And they keep walking, and eventually they walk back to the slag pit and go in.
Okay. I'll follow him back to the slag pit.
Okay. All right. So he gets in. He goes to the bar. He gets a drink, and then he sits down at the table where Sven is with a couple of his women. You can see Helger there as well with a big box haircut and the box beard.
If I can keep up with Grim, but as soon as I'm in range, I'll use my minor illusion to make kind of like a question mark, kind of maybe a 5 inches tall question mark appear in front of him.
Okay. Sure. You can totally do it.
I kind of wave my hand in front of me as if trying to shoo it away. And
yeah, and a yellow question mark appears over my head. I have a question.
I have a question, right? Yeah, no. I say, look, I'm going to talk to Sven. Just hang around outside.
Okay.
I say to my hat.
Okay. So, Belmar, you can hear this. Jada and Talrun, no, but you guys can certainly follow him into the slag pit or not.
Okay, I'll intercept. I'll intercept Jada and Talrun and kind of like try to stop them.
Oh.
If they stop up, I'll say to them and kind of look around, and if no one is actually watching us, I will kind of say in a low voice, he's gonna talk to Sven.
Why?
Because
What's
he's,
even going on right now?
I don't know, he's been itching for a fight.
Well, then
So-
we have to join him, don't we?
Really?
Well, I mean, maybe they'll just cut off a little piece of him.
So,
But
well,
I'll go in and
I walk at a brisk pace towards the slag pit.
don't pick a fight. I'm gonna try to keep up with Torben.
I'm only walking at a brisk pace.
So Thorn is going in after
Yeah,
Grim.
Yeah, there's no way.
So,
well, I'm assuming I have a head start on them.
Yeah,
I just
and
want,
that's,
but I want to know what they're doing. I'm going to jump
Okay.
back to you. So
That's
what
fine.
they're doing.
but Mer's trying to keep up with Torben, but there's no way a dwarf can keep up with a monk going at a brisk pace. So
Okay. Especially when you have a head start. So, Jawdat, you can keep up with Thorn more or less if you want.
Right.
If
I
you
just
want.
I don't know why we're going inside at all.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk the I almost said pony, the donkey over and hitch it to the hitching post amongst some horses, and I'll reach in my pocket, give them an apple, and then I'll look at the guys that are standing outside the slag pit, and I'll sort of try and emulate that as I'll lean back and I'll maybe put one foot up on the wall and cross my arms across my chest.
It's clear that at least a couple of the people hanging outside are pretty well in their caps.
And for a brief moment, there's it pauses in the still photo of you with the little tagline of the Thug Life.
That's right.
Yeah, the cigarette.
It's like
Ding. Yeah. So when I walk in, I'm just gonna.
So when you get in, you
Yeah.
see Mekla and this other person go to the bar, get a drink, and then go down and join Sven. We've
right.
got some women there. Helger's there. There's a few other people there as well. Another dwarf and another human.
All right. Yeah. Since the other two kind of went off to the bar, I'm gonna kind of just bypass them and head straight for Sven. And
I'm going to say they get there first from their head start.
okay.
They get to Sven.
That's fine. But I'm just not gonna follow them particularly. I'm just heading for Sven. And
Okay.
I say, well, Sven, fine evening we have tonight.
So again, Sven is sitting back, and all the chairs immediately around him are taken. So you can kind of get in a chair that's like a little ways away, and he's got a halfling woman on one side and a gnome woman on the other side, and he's just smiling at you.
All right. Well, I grab one of the chairs and I kind of drag it over, and I sit on it backwards, so like the back of the seat is in front of me, and I'm just kind of leaning on it. Say,
So Helger, his bodyguard, his female bodyguard, is really giving you the glare. Like that's pretty obvious. You can see, you don't even have to roll for this. You can see that some of those other men are fairly tense, and they've got their hands on hilts.
okay. I say, hey Sven, I understand you had some work for me, but your messenger boy here has seems to have some reservations.
He says, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't make you any work offers.
Interesting. So I didn't realize your people would had side work available. That's interesting. That's an interesting bit of information there. I'm sorry. I assume since he worked for you that any offers made by him would be originating from you.
I don't know. You see, my understanding is that when you came into here the first time, well, the second time we met anyway, you were looking for work and opportunities. And No, you don't seem to be the kind of person who wants to take them up. This is what I hear.
Oh,
But
well, I'm
that's not my offer.
well then. I'm sorry. You must have heard wrong because that is the case. I'm certainly open to any number of opportunities that present themselves.
You're part of a team, aren't you? And
Indeed.
he turns and he starts connecting with one of the women.
Indeed, I am. I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah, well, I have a team, and teams have rules.
As do mine.
Can't follow the rules. Can't be part of the team.
Exactly. I'm glad we agree on that. And our rules involve that we don't keep secrets from each other, and that if we get a job, we do it together. Is that a problem?
He says different rules in my club.
Huh. Well, that is strange, isn't it? Because I wouldn't think that having a dwarf and a half-orc and a human is part of associates of a hired hand would be a problem. But if they scare you, I mean, I understand. I mean, it's we have developed something of a reputation in town. If you're afraid, I understand entirely.
He smiles. He says, "No one gets to work for me that doesn't work by my rules."
You know, that's a really good way to miss out on some opportunities, I'm afraid.
Well,
yeah.
I think your summer's costing you opportunity, but you have yourselves a good evening, friend. He turns and he starts making out with the other woman.
Well, Sven, I'm sorry you feel that way. There's ample business opportunity for everyone in town, but business in town may be changing. And I just hope you're willing to grow with the changing times. I mean, as my old master once said, those who don't change with the times will get their backs broken in several places. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
So he stands up, again, a small smile on his face. He has his arms around each woman, and he says, I'm sorry, I got better things to do right now, and he heads off to like one of the back rooms with these two women.
I nod, and I stand up, and I kind of look at what was the name of the one who came to talk to me?
Mekla.
Mekla. So I kind of say, well then, seems your master is not a savvy businessman I thought he was, and he might want to reconsider your loyalties. If you're interested, we may be hiring in the near future. Talk to me when things get boring around here, and I kind of my iron ring is still on my right hand, and as I stand up, I kind of push down the table and I kind of whisper something, and as I stand up, there's this black outline of my hand, kind of, it almost looks like it's burned into the table as I stand up.
Okay.
And I say, well, I don't appreciate you wasting my time, but I have learned quite a lot. And I lean in and I say, and I hope you have too. And I turn and as I turn, I do so rapidly, just for the sole reason that my coat makes this amazing kind of spin as I go and flaps up behind me as I turn.
And exit is important.
Exactly. And I'll walk out with my flat-topped, wide-brimmed hat, opening the door. I open both doors, as I step out with the wind coming in. I don't bother to close them as I leave.
Okay, so as you walk out, you like a drug kind of like falls down in front of you. You just like easily. It's mostly his fault, but you easily knock him down.
Yeah, I just kind of knee him out of the way.
Okay, yeah.
And the rest of us out there, what the hell happened?
Well, I guess
So you got work?
apparently not. I kind of look around at the three of them each in turn. I say, Sven was wrong about me. I don't work without my friends. And I just kind of walk through them and begin heading back towards home.
Okay. All right. So when you get back at home, nothing has changed.
Well, right before we leave to go home, I take a peek inside the slag pit, just in case
Okay.
he set something on fire or something.
Okay.
When I assess that everything's okay, I just step back out and just
Well, as
nod
okay
at
as
Elmer
it can
and
be
all that.
for the psychic.
Okay. So when you get back home, Lyric is curled up, sound asleep on the log near the fire.
Okay.
As soon as we're in, we'll close the door. So what happened? What did you do? What did you say?
Well, I assume you were listening, weren't you?
Well, it's kind of difficult to run when.
I mean, I take off my hat and I kind of shake the spider onto the floor. Say, that's why I had to walk around with a freaking spider on my head.
Yeah, but I only got like fragments. It's kind of difficult to run and concentrate at the same time. And Tolrun was storming in there like Tolrun. But from the guest did you threaten Sven?
No, not really. Not threaten. I look. These people don't understand, nice talk. I simply let them know what the pecking order was, and that a student of my master was no one to be messed with.
Yes, I'm sure your master was all that. But I'm sure you noticed.
I kind of turned to him like unexpectedly, and I snap. My master was a monster.
Well, yes, Grim.
Well, that explains that.
But listen, you don't understand this. Sven is a gnome. Okay? I tried to warn you.
I kind of put my hands in my head. What does that have to do with the price of mead? Really? What does that have to do with anything?
It has to do. I mean, as I said, I only got fragments of it. But if you did threaten him, or he just perceived that you threatened him, we might have we will have a problem. So we have to deal with that problem.
He doesn't see me as a threat right now. But he also doesn't see me as an easy mark either. I made it clear that I don't work alone. If he wants business from us, then he comes to all of us, not just me.
Just so we're clear, you threatened this guy on all of our behalfs.
No, I didn't threaten him. I simply said that I don't work alone. And he went off to have some sort of debaucherous sex with some women or some other. Point is that he knows I don't work alone, and if he's going to offer us work, that he's going to do it to all of us, not just me.
I look at Valmera. Did it sound like he threatened him?
I don't know, to be honest, I mean, half of what Grim says sounds like a threat. So.
It's true.
Hi, my name is Grim. Okay, I'll give you whatever you want. Just don't.
Pass the butter.
Okay, so
Everything I say by definition is a threat.
how about this for a suggestion? Before it gets out of hand, we will find out where Sven lives and slit his throat tonight.
There's a long silence, I'm assuming, in the room at this point.
And then Torrin just says, "You do that. I'm going to sleep."
This door's bullshit.
And that is pretty much what I grumble about. Leave the room.
Fine, go ahead. you know the party's taking a turn to the dark side of when someone suggests concealing someone's throat. It's like, fine, I'm going to sleep. Go do it.
No?
I'll second the no. We're not prepared for that yet. But and I turn to Jodat and give him an eye. Say, but it's not off the list.
But okay, well, in that case, we should reconsider finding a new place to live where Sven doesn't have access to.
I think we can increase security here with a little bit of effort. And no one's gonna have the guts to come in here while we're here, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay, again, gnome. So it's either stab or get stabbed.
It's a gnome-like stabber.
Oh no, there's a horde of hawks at our door. Fuck that. What are the gnomes up to?
I say, look, he's doing gnome things tonight. Let's just let him do gnome things, and we'll worry about him tomorrow.
Okay. Jared, do you know what wet work is?
No, unless it has to do with selling water.
Okay. So,
yeah, my master had me selling water when I was younger. It's it's a long story.
I assume, and I have seen some evidence of your water proficiency, so I will take a gander and say that you are proficient with that, Grim.
That's a fair assumption.
Okay.
I say with an unusual level of candor with Galera.
And this is just thinking out loud, of course, but let's say you're right that he offered you a job and he wasn't offended by you showing up with us, and he's not offended that you go down to his place and all that. And he doesn't make a move, and we're all good. But you want to take that risk?
Look, we have to live in this town, and we can't stop making enemies, even of the low lifes.
Which is why it's probably a good idea not to, talk smack to the local crime boss.
It's the only kind of language they respect. It's the only currency I have.
Yes.
I'm not proud of my.
I know that.
My master or.
And I mean they probably know that.
My previous work, but
They probably know that you know magic, and they're probably a little afraid of that, so that will probably hold a hand a little bit. So that could be the saving grace here.
They also know the reputation of my master and his organization.
And you're protected by him?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Does that level of protection extend to the rest of us?
I kind of drop my eyes to the floor. Probably not.
Yeah. I think we should look for a new place to live.
Well, look, it's not like anywhere in town is going to be unknown to him. If we were in a big city, maybe, but we're in a small town. This is we can't just get rent someplace under an alias and expect that he wouldn't know it's us.
Well, that's true.
Look, we'll be fine for tonight, and I think he'll probably just let it go. Damn it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
My whole life is going to haunt me for some time to come, I'm afraid.
Okay. But I will go. She'll take one of the logs we use for firework, and she will take a chopping axe, and she'll kind of make some. What are they called in English? The like kind of like a
Firewood.
A wedge.
Yeah, a wedge. She'll make some wedges so she can jam
Stick under
under
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know where you're going with that. So yeah,
No problem.
she's gonna chop some wedges, jam under the door.
Your door also has a lock.
Yeah, she's not trusting the lock.
You're right.
Okay.
And didn't do so while we were away. What did it now?
Once picked.
Yeah, a wedge on the other hand will cannot be picked quite as easily. So.
No problem.
All right, so.
You guys gonna crash then?
Yeah, despite his nap, Grim is tired, and I'm gonna go to sleep in the front room as I always do.
Yeah, well, it could have been a long post conversation too.
Yeah, and but I do keep my my ring on, and I kind of have my arms sort of folded over me as I lay back, kind of in a slightly propped up position, so that if a loud noise should awake me, I'll be much more I'll be able to more easily sort of get to my feet and react, that sort of thing.
Okay. So as you lie there, starting to drift off, before you do, you kind of instinctively open your eyes, and when you look up, you see directly above you, Spindle is like staring down at you.
Okay.
Black eyes.
Spindle climbs out of his mouth and.
Well, considering where I slept as a kid, it doesn't disturb me that much. But I kind of look up at him and just kind of tip my hat as I lean back, and I pull the hat over my eyes and put my head down.
Okay. So everybody goes to sleep unless you want to do something else.
Yeah.
But Mel will sleep, or she'll have nightmares about gnomes stabbing people, and she won't sleep with it that well.
So a normal night then.
Normally it's her stabbing gnomes.
Ah, I see.
Well, that's a good dream.
That's right. Yeah.
And on mushroom nights, it's gnome porn.
Right. So on the morning of the 13th of rotting, who gets up first?
I'll say I do.
Okay. So it's almost as cold as the previous day, and it's overcast.
Okay, I'm gonna a lot of wood on the fire.
All right. Yep. The fireplace is a good one in that even in the morning there's still a good bit of coals.
And I look around for signs of any blood stains or anything, just to confirm whether or not Palmyra did go kill Sven and then arrive back home in the middle of the night.
No obvious ones.
Do it so haphazardly.
What are the odds of that?
Okay. So again, the rest we can wake up in any order you choose. Do whatever you want.
So I'm gonna get changed and I'm gonna head outside for a run.
Okay. So again, when you're running, your feet are like crunch, crunch, crunch. You're breaking through a crust of frozen snow that's a couple of inches deep.
Mm-hmm.
Even the
So
mud
I haven't.
you
I've
run on,
seen.
the mud is like hard and kind of crunches.
Okay, so I've seen snow once in my lifetime. Is that like? Is it dangerous to run around like that, or?
Not really. I mean, sometimes your ankles can get minor little cuts just from when you break through the nearby ice snow can kind of be like a bit sharp, but it's not like it's glass or anything.
It can get slippery though.
Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally you'll get a spot where it's really frozen and you don't break through. And you...
Okay. So since Torin spent a lot of time in like the mountains and stuff, in the north in general, I assume that he at least knows what to avoid and what to look out for around here. So
yeah. You don't slip running around, but it's not the most pleasant run just because of what you're running.
Yeah.
Okay. So
there aren't many people.
Yeah, there's not many people. It's overcast. You predict it's going to snow at some point today. What you got? The rest of you can wake up whenever you like.
Yeah, but Mel will wake up at the sound of the door being opened and shut, and she will quickly go into the kitchen / living room / Grimm's bedroom, and
The wedge is no longer in place now.
and check if he has been stabbed to death or not.
He has not, but the wedge is no longer in front of the door.
Okay, well, so then she'll check at Jared's place, and if he's still alive, not just sleeping.
Usually both are still in the same health you left them in.
Well,
Yay.
are you awake, Grim?
Grim wakes.
I mean, if you're awake, you might as well make breakfast, right?
Sure.
Well, I'll get up and make breakfast at the very least, and
Yeah, I don't wake up.
Okay. So, the two of you have breakfast. Tarun, you just get back from your run, and when there is a knock at the door, it's about 9 a.m. at this point.
Dun, dun, dun.
I opened the door because I just came through it.
I will run in and get my rapier.
So you see Bade standing there. He's got a big fur coat on, full length pretty much over.
Palmyra, it's not a gnome.
Palmyra, it's not a gnome.
Well, that's what she's worried about.
The lady
Come in.
requests your passage whenever it's convenient for you. No, I must get back. I have duties. I just sent to pass along the message.
Oh, the lady needs our presents. Thanks. Hey,
Yes. Dress well. He leaves.
alright, we better get going then.
Bemer picks out.
Grim is just opening his eyes.
Yeah. Who
Why
was
does
that?
Why does he always say that? I mean, like we don't dress well.
He does, I don't pay attention to him.
Who was that?
Bade.
You know that guy that hangs around the lady?
Oh, right. What do you want except to wake us up?
He told her to dress well.
What?
And we have to go visit the lady. Get
Oh, yeah.
dressed.
That too.
Oh.
And Grim, you smell breakfast cooking? And Jada, what is cooking?
Some bacon, not sausage,
Okay.
and some potatoes that have like maybe some onions and fennel in them, and a desert style grit cake. So it's got spices and stuff in it, and it's rather thin and crispy. So it's almost like a grit cake cracker.
I thought you were going to say it had sand in it.
Yeah, you know.
So I'll get up and
Spices, sand.
I'll I stand up. My pants are kind of thrown on the floor nearby, and my shirt is kind of like is hanging from a spider web above me. And I kind of get up and I go over to the fireplace, and I grab one of the cakes. I take out my little dagger, and I stick it in some bacon and drop it onto the cake, and I say, thanks. And I go back over to sit down on the bench again, and I start chewing on that.
Okay.
Coffee?
Yeah, I would love some coffee.
If only there was time.
What are you talking about?
Bade seems very
Yeah, he always seems urgent, man. He's
Yeah,
just,
I have to agree. We're not going to be professional without coffee.
right.
he also promised that there'd be coffee there, I assume.
Yeah? You sure?
Yes.
I look over at Tolroon a little bit skeptically because I don't remember that part of the conversation. But
Yep.
I look around. Would lovable Tolroon lie?
I could have stand up and I throw my jacket over my shoulders and say, there better be coffee there, little man.
walks in the door. I was told there'd be coffee.
I can just imagine that the door opens. It's a bunch of adventurers and like these are Scrooge-esque pajamas with the nightcaps. So
Yeah. Hey, just on a side note, I'll have you know that. I was just gonna say on a little side note, I'll have you know that for the longest time when I used to see those old programs of people in their night hats and their the nightgowns going to sleep in all these clothes and stuff like that, it used to all seem kind of strange and whimsical to me until I started heating my house with only firewood.
Yep.
With only wood fire, because oh yeah, because if you don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to feed the wood stove, when you get up, it's gonna be like 45 or 50 degrees. You're going to be thankful that you're dressed warm when you go to bed. So, just as a side note, I now understand that cultural fashion statement. So, it makes perfect sense. Trust me.
It sucks too because when you put the fire on to go to bed, it's really hot.
Well, that's it's an art form to to get your stove to the point where, it doesn't get up to like 100 degrees in the middle of the night when you're sweating laying in bed, and then you wake up and it's like 40 degrees. You have to find the balance.
That's when you learn to appreciate a PJ.
That's right.
All right. Well, seeing Torun's demeanor and his whole spending life in his bedroom recently, I'll kind of shoo everybody out the door as You see, it's time to go. Yeah, we must go talk to the lady about job.
But I haven't have. I mean, I need a bath and a shave and.
I kind of stagger out with half-eaten sand cake and with a slap of kind of fatty bacon sort of hanging over the edge of it as I step outside, and I just kind of shove it in my mouth.
Sand cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flour, sand, and butter.
Butter? What's that?
Flour
and sand.
It's camel butter.
Gross. But yeah, so I'll kind of shear me out, and as Belmira's putting up a protest, I'll slap like a similar type of breakfast sandwich into her hand, and kind of push her out the door.
Okay.
While we're moving up towards the the lady, that jewelry, I'm not sure I can get anything for it now. I was hoping to pawn it off down at the slag pit, but
I wouldn't have much hope for that now.
yeah. So unless any of you have any lady friends you want some jewelry for.
Well, I hope so soon, but we've only been here a relatively short time. I haven't had time to go carousing as I would normally like to do. But I'll keep it in mind. So I'm just going to be walking the streets, kind of looking, rather unfriendly at those who smile and wave at me, because I have not had coffee.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on gnome assassins on the way.
So, you see, no gnome assassins. No assassins.
That's right.
You see, no.
But
Important distinction.
it is cold and overcast. It's kind of unpleasant to be out at this time of day, and the wind is biting, and you figure it's probably something's gonna fall from the sky before the day's out.
I mean,
Knowing our luck, probably a dead body with a note attached to it. But we'll keep going.
Falling from the sky.
I have a new idea for house rule. No meetings before noon.
Yeah, well.
There's nothing we can do about it.
You did say at your convenience, but that was
No,
totally.
he said at our inconvenience.
Yeah, he specific said at our inconvenience. Yeah.
Yeah. We may need to renegotiate that bit of the plan, but we're saying all this as we're walking, grudgingly.
Okay. So you guys make your way down to Noble and to Lady Lasser's manor. The gate is unlocked as usual when you arrive, and when you get to the door, Bade stands there, opens it, and you all detect just a flicker of disappointment crosses his face, and his demeanor is restored. He says, yes, come in.
Into the warm building.
Yeah.
All right.
I say, coffee?
Of course, why don't you go into there and sit down and get cleaned up, and I will bring you some coffee and something.
No, something doesn't matter. If there's going to be something, then just make a double coffee.
He's already gone.
Goat milk, if you have it.
About 5 minutes goes by. You guys drip on the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
The snow you dragged in.
Yeah. But my wish is she has gotten her outdoors pants on and not her indoor pants.
Bade returns with a tray of a big pot of coffee. It's a silver pot, in fact, of coffee. Several small mugs. There's also a bunch of flat croissants on the.
I look slightly disappointed at the small size of the mug, and
It's a big picture, though.
what was that?
It's a big picture, but small
That's
mug.
fine.
True.
Yeah, what I do is
They're more
I
like
kind of put 2 fingers and I slide them through the handles of 2 of the mugs, thus clamping them together as like 2 mugs side by side, and I just pour coffee into each of them consecutively.
Okay.
And,
So that leaves 2 mugs for the remaining 3.
yeah.
I'll take a mug and fill it with coffee.
I'm fine. I had a good select.
Oh, I was hoping you would fight to the death. But, so
And
Bade leaves the room again almost immediately.
grab a handful of the croissants.
There's also a butter and jam.
I'll just kind of be cradling the coffees like against my chest with the other hand, sort of cupping them against them, and just breathing in the rich vapor.
When
I think you have a problem with that, Grim.
I turn kind of slowly to a Bill Mirror, and I without changing my expression whatsoever, I convey an entire litany of irony as I kind of look at her. I see, and I just turn back into my coffee.
When Bade's the second time, he's got a tray. On the tray is a few bowls of hot water. There are some small towels. There's some washcloths. There is a very small straight razor. There's a comb, a couple of hand mirrors. He lays it all in. Whenever you're ready, I will tell the lady.
I'll grab one of the hot wet cloths, and I'll, as I'm kind of holding the cups, I'll use my free hand to sort of like, slip the cloth under my clothing and like scrub my armpits, and
Classy.
yeah, and then I'll throw it back on the tray.
Okay. So he gives you about 10 more minutes to get cleaned up. You can know yourself or not. And then eventually he returns and tells you that whenever you're ready to go up and see the lady.
Why do you keep saying that? We've been ready for 20 minutes.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, I just shake my head, and I just
Follow
use
me.
I use the pitcher to top off my coffees, and I head up the stairs.
Okay. So you go up again. It's nice, very nice woodwork stairs. It's a fairly long hallway, dark wooden doors. When you enter the lady's office, it's a modest-sized office. She is, as usual, behind the big desk. There's lots and lots of books there. On her desk is parchment, inkwells, things like that. A few books. There is a little bit of artwork on the wall, and there's a few windows. And she looks up. She says, "Yes, thank you, babe. That will be all." And he bows and leaves the room. She is sitting there. She's in dark blue robes. She stands up, and she starts walking around. She says, "It is good to see you all again. I trust you are well."
Yes, we are as good as can be, I suppose.
I kind of nod, yawning. Yeah. No, apart from not being morning people per se, we're doing well enough, I suppose.
Yeah. So what do you have for us?
when you were selected to join this group, you were chosen for several reasons. Your ability to hold your own in a battle, the kind of people you are, and hopefully we chose proper. We chose people that know the right path instead of the greedy path. And I don't mean in small terms, but rather in the grander scheme of things. She kind of looks you over to see if you have any reaction to this. Do you?
I probably look more puzzled than anything else. Like as the words are coming to my brain, and I'm trying to filter them through my morning haze. Trying to decide if it was an insult or not. I'm not really sure yet.
Okay. She tells you that things can sometimes be morally gray. A man who steals food, who's starving, is surely not evil. Someone who kills to protect themselves, their own life. It can be difficult to tell sometimes. I trust that Tam chose well with you.
Well, I guess that's up for us to decide, isn't it? If what you're asking to do is moral, based on our own personal compasses, based on our own reckoning. But I can say that I wouldn't say we're particularly greedy, though. I would also suggest that we're not. We're open to new ideas. And I kind of look around and give everyone a nice, kind of this weird kind of, satisfied smile.
Go ahead.
What's going on?
Very well. I will lay out the task before us, and you can decide best how to deal with it. I would rather that when you undertake this task that it is done out of public eye. Again, I've tried to be open with you. I started off being secretive, perhaps too protective of my secrets, and I certainly don't mind sharing them with you now. But the fewer people that know of this, the better. Word has reached me that the Senata will be transporting a diary back to their home base, which is north of Cerner. We know what road they will be traveling along and when. I'd like you to intercept them and recover this diary from them. I can provide you with details of where and the approximate time they will come by.
What's the nature of this diary?
It is a diary supposedly written by someone who lived at Mythalamar. If that is true, surely it would be great information in there.
And how did they acquire it?
The Senatu? I am not sure. Perhaps one of the raids.
They bought it from the Orcish booksellers.
As we all do.
Little known fact, the orcs are avid book collectors.
Fun fact.
So, where is this traveling from, and where is it traveling to?
So yes, Bade can provide you with all the details. If you agree to do this and you're successful, I will pay you each 100 crowns, and of course, 5 crowns per day for expenses.
But not to be difficult, but could we know where we're going before we say we agree? Because,
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. That's only fair. So she calls Bade in, and she repeats your request to him, and he returns shortly with a map which I'm going to share with you as soon as I can find it. Okay. So the area you're going to be in is here. The bridge is right here. You can see the cursor. And that's the zoom in of the bridge.
Okay. I say
traveling
okay.
to west, and she's asking that you basically make your move on this bridge, and not before and don't wait till they get to the coast road, because there's too much traffic there.
Gotcha. So I say, well, apart from those people who have it, who obviously don't want us to take it, are there any other parties that would have a problem with us taking it, whether official or unofficial?
None that I'm aware of. It is essentially a diary, a history book. No more.
True, but I mean, not to get too hung up on words and definitions. If we are taking something from someone on the road in the Kingdom of Front, would then we not be considered, say, I don't know, bandits?
It's a valid question. I do not do this lightly. I do not do it out of pure greed, but the Sanatu, you must understand, if my Thalamar is a place with as great potential for power and respect, they would use it not to help the lesser or the weaker, but to dominate them, to control them. I'd rather not see that happen.
I kind of look around at my companions. I say, I'm sure none of us want that, of course.
But we only have your word that this will be the case.
Well, I'm even willing to take your word on that, since you've shown us no reason to doubt your word. However, if there's a chance that in doing so we could end up in a dungeon somewhere in front for the rest of our natural lives, how possible is that?
Seems extremely. Bade speaks up. Most unlikely. The King's Guard does not travel the road these days. In fact, there are no King's Guard traveling the road between towns in all of Kulthania.
Well, I suppose that answers the question of what is the likelihood of us getting caught. However, what we would be doing would still be, at least in legal terms,
a crime,
highway robbery.
You make a fair point.
I suppose what I'm really asking is, should one of these rare, unusual, and nearly non-existent guards, which is to say non-zero guards, show up and arrest us or drag us off to a guard post or a dungeon somewhere, would there be any possible assistance from you or your organization to solve that little problem?
I could use my influence to certainly pull any strings I have. It would be unofficial, of course, but I would do everything in my power.
Obviously.
Again, you raise a fair point. You'll have to decide for yourselves whether this is worth an undertaking, but I admit I do fear what may happen if my Thalamar falls into the hands of Sanatu.
Do you know how many there are with the wagon?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Any ideas on where the diary specifically will be kept?
Again, I just know it will be among the group.
Well, I'm
It will
uncomfortable
be
doing that.
very distinguishable. It will be written in ancient Elven.
When is it being transported?
3 days.
So we have some time.
It is about a day and a little more to get there.
Well, I'll tell you what
maybe,
then.
Maybe get you there.
Let's say then you give us, and I look around again to kind of get confirmation, a chance to sort of discuss it today, and we give you our answer this evening.
Of course.
As you say, it is an unusual situation, and is in a rather gray, perhaps even dark gray area. I'm sure we'll want to, converse about this to decide if it's in our, if we want to do it.
Let me make 2 more points then, and then I will leave you to your deliberations. 1, the Sonatu are extremely vicious. They have a reputation of slaying anyone who gets in their way or stops their plans. If they are as I say, they will become apparent upon encountering them. Secondly, the method of recovering the diary is up to you. If you can think of a way to do it without violence, that is up to you. But I won't morally push you to do this. I respect your wishes, and we'll speak this evening.
No, we can't ask for fairer than that.
Bade, and the door immediately opens. Please see the man.
I'll get up and slowly turn, and I'll be finishing up my 2 cups of coffee as they head out. Now I'll hand it to Bade on the way through the door.
Sure.
As we leave, I will discreetly, using my mage hand, replace the straight razor that she borrowed.
Okay. It's very, very small. It would have limited use as a weapon, but you can take a steal it you can steal it if you want.
No, she did steal it, but she'll put it on a small table as
Okay.
they leave, using her mage hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Trying to do it.
Okay.
So you guys return home, about lunchtime.
Well, we'll head out the door, and as we sort of step out and begin walking, we can sort of begin kind of talking. So, what do you think, Jodad and Torun?
I'm not doing it.
I already know what Belmera thinks. Okay.
I'm not doing this.
All right, Jodad.
Is a difficult situation. If you steal dagger from assassin, you are still thief, but perhaps you stop him from killing someone. But so far, the only information we have that the Sonatu and other bad people is the lady.
That's true. So I suppose we could, since we don't tell till later, we could.
Technically, that's not true. Just so you know, you saw 2 pieces of evidence of their violence. 1, the torture they put on Firel, and 2, the slaughter they did at the thieves' house.
Right. Well, all right. So the torture with Firewall, again, we're taking her and his word for it that it was
Yeah.
them. Right. They're all part of a secret organization. I'm not saying they're bad people, or that they are not. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure you got the history.
Yeah.
You make your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all the information's technically filtered through Lady Laseva to us.
Right.
So even the
Well,
other
you
information
see
is
the
still
bodies
filtered
of
through.
their
Well, sure, but we're taking her word for it that they're the ones who did it.
But by same token,
Fair enough.
we have already once gone somewhere and stolen something for her. And we did this with no question because it was orcs. So if we now say, "Oh no, we draw a line," it not only makes us thieves, but also racist. Yes, because we will steal from orcs, but we will not steal from people.
Again, there were questions to go to Mektarok. We have just forgotten the questions. There were questions asked.
Yeah,
I see your point. Once a thief, always a thief.
that's true enough.
I think
And let's face it, we went to talk to Sven, knowing that, or Sven's man, knowing that what he was going to ask me or potentially us to do was not necessarily going to be above board.
Yeah, again, you went to talk to Sven, so I advised against it. Just
also there is this organization, the Senato. They are a secret organization, yes?
Yeah.
But how is it recently so much information is available to the lady? She knows bookies with orcs. She knows this diary is being transported.
well, for all we know, she always had a lot of information about them. We just recently became acquainted with her, so
Yes, but why if this book, if other items are so important, they are stopping end of world or letting her study, stopping the world, however it is. we are new. Why is not the Tam and
Knuckle and Tam.
yeah? Why is not they going?
but there are only two of them.
Well, we don't know what's. Let's face it, because she's part of a secret organization as well. We only know what she's willing to tell us.
But is she part of the secret organization, or is she entire organization, and people are just secret under her?
I shrug.
From the sound of it, we have a rather rich and eclectic collector of ancient elven artifacts that does not care how she comes across them.
Yes, who is willing to pay in good coin for that service.
Yes, but imagine this: you are one side of war, and other people on the other side, and you go out and you kill them to take book.
Mhm.
This means that those people are not going home to their family, brothers, sisters, mothers, children, whatever, and they believe as strongly that what they're doing is correct is she believes what she is doing is correct. But as it is now, none of us have strong feeling that what we are doing is right, just profitable.
That's true, but let's assume that when we stop them and they don't go back to the family, they don't go back to the family and beat them up and torture them and rape them.
Yes, I suppose if that is how you handle it, if it makes you sleep better at night to think that every person who does not agree with you goes home and beats people.
Well,
I'm not saying every person, but you heard her. She said they were bad people. They were in cahoots with gnomes and they tortured people and.
But if it's like war, yes. If on one side you wear a red uniform, on the other side you wear blue, and you fight because they do not wear blue, you do not wear red, and they are bad people, but they are people nonetheless.
Yes, but I mean, it could be a war where you're living home with your family. You have a little garden You have a little house, and then the people in the red clothing came and they invade your home. So you put on a blue coat.
Yes, this I understand, but there has been no invasion.
What it comes down to is what kind of people do we want to be?
And right now, we are people that essentially do anything for anyone who pays us.
Yes. Good talk.
I think
No.
perhaps we need a better reason to do things.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that number one, if we don't do it, someone else is going to. If someone else does it, they may not have the same moral compass as we do.
Yes,
I
but
think-
if our
I think we can do it without anyone getting killed.
I think that's highly unlikely.
if our moral compass is simply a statement, if we do not do it, someone else will, and they may be worse, that is not moral compass. That is moral stick pointed in general direction.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way the world works. If someone is gonna get killed, either we can stop it, or we can mitigate the damage.
But in this
So,
case,
I mean-
we are not. In this case, we are not stopping someone from getting killed. We are likely having to go and kill people.
And also,
That's a choice.
just because this is how the world works, I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be that way. I can see that point.
Well, of course, but that's my point. That's my point too. We can change it, even by taking the job.
Yes, Graham, but I mean, given our history, it's not exactly that like we handle things in a non-violent manner.
Yes, even with the children's friends,
Yes.
there were ones we had to stop.
Look, when I found that letter in my jacket, you all don't know a lot about me. When I was younger, I did things that, although maybe I didn't know at the time, were fairly dark. And my master had a hand in me doing that. And I could have easily looked at that note and said, "I'll go by myself, take on this, and do whatever it is for money." But I decided not to do that. It was a choice. It was a choice to see what kind of work it was, and more importantly, to include you.
Yes.
It's the same with all of this. We all have a choice. With every action we take, with every job that we decide to take. Yeah, we have to live in this world. We have to feed ourselves. We have to clothe ourselves. We have to put a roof over our heads.
Well, I mean, if that's our goal, we have enough coin.
Well, for now.
What it really comes down to is, are we going to believe this lady, the Sever, and that what she is telling us is truth? That if this information about these old elves, if it gets to this group, that they are bad and it is bad for world. We have to decide. If we believe this, then we can act in good conscience, and for whatever means, take book away. We can try to hurt less people, yes, but is
So what you're saying is that you prefer to do good?
what I'm saying is the choice that has to be made is whether we are committed to the story that she's telling us. Is like going to temple. The first time you read the Holy Scriptures, you must decide whether or not you believe them. Not if they are believable today or tomorrow, or if perhaps in a week you will change your mind. But you have to decide, I believe this. And when people outside the temple, they throw sticks and rocks at you and tell you that you are silly, that you are not worshiping the right God, You have to be able to understand that they are ignorant and blind, and perhaps you can help them one day, but you are doing something that you are committed to. At this point, continuing down this road, each of us must decide if we are committed to the same ideals that she is. We have to decide if we believe in our heart that what she is telling us is truth. That if the group, whatever they're called, the bad guys.
Yayo?
Yes, Sanatsu. We have to decide if we believe her and that they are bad for the world. If they are bad for the world, then we must help. But if she is lying, then we have been working for a bad guy all along.
Well,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but I'm a wizard. I work in tangible results. That I study and formulate rituals that produce exact and specific results based on that.
Yes.
It's there's great precision and certainty involved. Not this gray sort of is it good, is it bad sort of thing.
Yes, unfortunately, however, this is the real world. There is no black and white. There is only shades of gray.
Well, that's true, but
This is not a laboratory. If you want to draw a comparison, this is as though you had a teacher behind a screen that you can never see, and he's telling you, mix this, mix that, say this, summon this.
yes, we understand that. I want to hear why 12 Room doesn't want to do it.
Crime. Isn't this just a slippery slope? Look at Jordan's analogy. First you're told to mix that and this, then you have to break a few laws, and who knows what she'll ask us to do next.
Well, sure, but
If
you
we
also know that.
slowly escalate into this, then how do we know she can't convince us to do a worse crime?
Is like she said, if a man steals bread to feed family, yes, legally, he is criminal. He can be arrested, he can be sent to jail. But is what he did morally wrong? Or is it the fault of someone else in town who did not look on him and his hardship and say, let me buy you bread? We have opportunity now. If they are as bad as she says, then yes, we are stealing bread to feed family. But if that is the only way that this badness can be stopped, then that is bread we must steal.
Well, then perhaps taking on this action will help us to determine that. If we can find out what this is about, then we know who to trust. If we can investigate this on our own, beyond the scope of the job we've been given, determine if what she's asking us to do is actually a good and noble thing based on our own judgment and conscience, then we can know. Then that will be another piece of the puzzle that creates the picture if we can trust her or not.
But where do you go to find out about a secret group?
Well, we know where they're going to be.
So you're going to ask them?
Not necessarily ask them, but I'm saying that we can go further with it.
I guess.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the tone. Doesn't want to go because it's a crime, and he's right. It is a crime.
Well, this is something that he must answer for himself. If we look into it, and they Sanatu, that are bad people that will do bad things with the information, at least there is a justification of crime.
Is it?
This is.
Of course it is.
Would you not steal dagger from man that was planning to kill child?
Oh, sure, but I don't have those reservations that Owen has.
Yes, but Toldrun would fight a man who was going to kill child with dagger. And if he had to, if only way to stop him was to take this man's life, this is something he would do. Is it not, Toldrun?
Of course, but
And if the same man had one of Grimm's fireballs and was going to throw it at the orphanage, again, you would challenge him and fight him and stop him, yes? Right now, all we're trying to find out is if Sonatu are the man with fireball or if they are the orphanage.
Perhaps we should. Perhaps we should go talk to Ivan.
Really?
Really?
About what?
He's known us for a while.
Yeah, but I mean,
he knows that we operate within already a fairly gray area.
I do not think that the existence of this Sonatu is as secret as we think, but perhaps just their actions.
Look, I'm not saying we give him any specifics. I'm just saying that we get a sense for what his opinion is regarding this sort of activity.
It's possible what I was saying is that people in town have heard stories of Sonatu or other peoples. We could try Ivan, perhaps the crazy old man that used to be a venturer. He might know something.
Possibly.
I guess, but again, just to understand where you're going with this, you're saying you want to do this if you find out that the lady is right, and they are.
No, we want to go talk to people now and then make our decision.
Certainly.
Yes, but let's assume two scenarios. One scenario, we find out that they are, in fact, the torturing bad guys that she claims they are, and in the other scenario, we find out that they are more or less like her, just on the other side of the fight.
Well, in the former, then I would agree to the assignment, and if the latter, I would say no.
Great. Perhaps, instead of trying to steal this book, we could perhaps just follow them.
And to what end?
No.
The other option is we could, it could be possible to steal the book, take a look inside, and if the book is as she says, then we can decide what to do with it then.
Can you read Ancient Elven?
Not specifically.
So we don't even know. I mean, I like the idea of following them so we can find out where they're going. That's one way of finding out more.
And once we reach the destination, we can investigate their destination.
Right. I like that. Makes sense. We could always steal the book if that's what we're going for.
She did seem very specific about that it had to be stolen in a specific place. I don't know why.
Well, she said that's because that was the area on the road where there was least traffic. Once they reach the coast road, there will be a lot of traffic. So if you're gonna commit highway robbery, I mean, it's best to do it in a deserted location. I would assume.
That's fair enough, but there's a lot. That's a long road, but that location was very, very specific. I'm just saying it's another bit of information that we have to consider.
Well then, let's go talk to Ivan. Yes?
Yes.
Great.
All right, so we head for the main guard post.
Okay, You don't locate him there, but you do find him at the 3, picking up his lunch. He's
Excellent.
clad in plate mail, as usual. And as you've seen before, Faye is handing him his 2 tin plates, which he turns around and he starts heading for the door. And you see you guys coming in. And he goes, "Oh, good to see you back in town."
We'll wave to him and say, "Mr. Ivan, it's good to see you. Good to see you well as well."
It's just Ivan, or Captain Vester if you'd rather, but you can call me Ivan. Listen, I'd like to eat my lunch while it's hot. What can I do for you?
Sure. If you have a moment, we'd appreciate it. I gesture to a table over in a corner, kind of out of the way.
He says, walk with me.
Okay.
Sorry, there's only 3 shifts.
All right.
So he heads out the 3 and he starts walking towards the guardhouse. He's walking at a pace you can easily keep up with.
All right. So I kind of look around and I kind of nod to Jodat to go ahead and ask him.
So, Ivan, if I asked you, would you prefer a concrete question or hypothetical first?
Get to the point.
Okay, so there is a secret group that we are hired to go steal a book from.
Group?
Yeah, he did say get to the point.
Was it?
that's pretty pointed.
Group? In town?
No, yeah, well, outside of town, but acting in town and else. Here's a Lady Lucevra. She
He
needs
enters
help.
the guardhouse and sits down at the desk, puts the plates down. He's still listening to you.
She needs help recovering this book. And it is
A good lady. He takes the lid off. He starts.
it's held by a group of people that she says are bad and that could cause the end of the world.
Another bad group out there.
Well, there's always bad groups. Anyway, she
Road
says
rage?
no, they are worse. I kind of lean in. They're responsible.
He puts his cutlery down and looks at you. Worse.
I lean in. They're responsible for the elf, his kidnapping and beating. The same group.
Who are they?
I am not sure I should tell you name, because if so, you might know enough that they might try to hurt you.
I kind of lean and I say, I think we should tell him.
The Sinatsu is the name of them.
He stops eating in mid-bite. He looks at you again. Only heard that name once before. Once a year, all the town guards get together. We talk about threats, business, really.
I just want to be a dick and go, oh, all 3 of you?
Guard captains from all the towns.
Right.
I miss so
All 3.
right.
Wow.
So he says at the last meeting, one of them mentioned the Senati. They're kind of like, well, they're their own military, their own army. They see themselves as saviors, ready to take over when the kingdom falls, that sort of thing. They're nutcases, a lot of them. He keeps eating.
So I nod and I look at Talrun.
If you go messing with them, well, what I know, there's quite a few.
It won't be the first time that we have necessarily messed with them.
Unknowingly, of course.
But the problem is, at this point, they have a book. Legally, they have this book. But
Legally, they
Well-
bought it, did they?
it would not surprise me the last book we stole from them they were planning on buying.
Uh-huh.
The point is,
At any rate, the point is, we were supposed to take book from them while they're traveling. Technically, this is robbery.
Uh-huh.
And
Cheating.
Tolrun brought up a good point. If the lady, she asks us, jaywalk, and we do so. And she says, and steal book, and we do so. And then she says, kill this person, and we do so. This is bad, slippery slope, I think is the word he used.
You've killed people before. I've killed people before. You feel guilty about it now?
I have never snuck into someone's house or their group of friends walking down the road, stabbed them in back, and taken book.
You know?
Not all murder is. Not all killing is murder.
He says, I don't doubt your word for a minute. This is actually my point. Sometimes you kill because it's necessary. You seem to be the type to know when it's necessary.
I immediately have a flashback to the lobster people and the monks, realizing that if we had just destroyed that ring faster.
Hey, are you saying that it's up to us to determine when we want to kill or not to kill?
No.
Yeah, I look at Belmiro.
He's got his like eating knife, and he's doing this. He's kind of gesturing like this. He says, "No. I'm saying you." He points. I trust to know the difference.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Good.
Oh, God.
Listen, this book you're after. You going after it more than 2 miles from this town?
Yeah, I think it is.
I nod vaguely and sort of.
I don't really need to know unless it's a threat to this town. I got my hands full.
I know. Look. It's not so much that. I mean, it is, but
I reach across and put my hand on his eating knife real quick, like on the wrist, is holding it. Sometimes we come to you. In this case, not because we are concerned with whether or not it's your responsibility, but because you are a person in charge. You are sensible mind, and we are seeking counsel.
Yeah. I know. I say we value your opinion, and we're asking.
Look, if it's Sonata you're taking from what I know of them, no one's going to shed a tear if they all wind up dead in the street. Just as long as we don't got to see them dead in the street. These are some bad people that got bad plans. That's what I hear.
Just don't make us see it.
Okay. The lady, I've only met her a few times, but I trust her.
Yeah, Ivan is lawful. I don't care.
More important, I trust you. I wasn't sure about you at first, but you seem to have good judgment.
Yep. So don't leave any evidence. Check.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Okay, but what you are saying from what you heard from your people and your colleagues is that the Senator are, in fact, kind of like an insurrection group in the kingdom, and they are behind a lot of bad stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I don't know the military equivalent for like little private militias like they form in the States. Well, they're basically like that. He says, from what I hear, they're holed up somewhere north of Cerna. There's upwards of 100 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of look around at my companions. I nod. I say, well, thank you for your counsel. We appreciate it. I promise that our first concern is Crossmeet and its safety and well-being.
Yep.
And whatever we do, we'll keep it out of here.
So he stands up, having finished his lunch. It's my break over. Good, I'll see you. He walks you through the door.
So I already know how Bemera feels, so I'm not worried about her. But I looked at Talrun and questioningly, like as if is this that good enough for you?
I suppose. I still think following them is a good idea, though.
Oh yeah, I'd advise that in any case, just to get a better idea of what we're facing.
Yes, but like Lady said, we must do this before they get to the coast road. Is too many people there.
Well, what I'm thinking is, it's although it's rarely, it's not as heavily traveled as the coast road. It is traveled, so perhaps we could shadow them as in disguise. We could put a bunch of straw or something on our cot, put a top over it, make it look like we're merchants, and I can do some. Belmer and I can disguise us up pretty good. We could kind of come up on them that way, and see what the situation looks like at that point.
I'm thinking if we know they're traveling on that road, and we know more or less the time they're gonna be traveling on that road, we can kind of go back and more or less estimate what it'll be the night before, right?
More or less, yeah.
Problem is, they're traveling from east to west, and about a mile east of that bridge, there's a road that goes north-south, and then it keeps going, and then there's another road that goes north-south, and then there's another road that goes south.
Well, if they're traveling this weather, it's gonna be slow.
But I'm just going to suggest that maybe you guys might be planning for a while, so this might be a good time to cut her off. You guys can come up with your intercept or ambush next time. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see what happens next week.